You know, my co-host still ain't on yet. She must be asleep. I don't know what's going on, dude. I think the aliens are messing with my intro. So, with that being said, how is everybody doing today? I'm doing great, man. This is Terry with Nspstv Paranormal Podcast, and tonight is a very special night, man. It's the 2026 edition of Nspstv Paranormal Podcast show, Showdown. I had to put the Showdown and 2026 in there, and guys, welcome to the show. I really appreciate you guys taking time out of your busy Sunday to come hang with us. I really appreciate it, man. I just got off of work, so I'm eager to see what you guys are thinking about, what you guys are feeling, the way the things going on, not in the paranormal, not just in the paranormal community, but in the podcast community also. I try to put the two. I mean, I could keep it together as one, but I kind of separate the two. But with that being said, I want each one of you guys to introduce yourselves, starting with the young ladies in the middle. So, ladies, please introduce yourselves.
I'm Ash.
I am Tammy. We are 573 Paranormal with Justin.
Well, hey, welcome to the show, guys. Welcome to the show.
It's our very first
Big T,
podcast. We're very excited to be here.
Okay, thank you. Big T and Cordell, introduce yourselves.
Oh, yeah.
Who wants to go first?
After you, my friend.
All right, I'll go. Real name's Terry. One of the hosts of Paranormal Musings podcast. Hopefully you've seen us before. I know Terry has.
My name is Cordell. I am one of the co-hosts of the Paranormal Musings podcast, and it's good to be here.
Thank you. All right. Chumming, you're next. What's up, brother? Introduce yourself.
Well, I'm JD. Parachum. We're Chumming with Spirits podcast.
Real name's Larry, by the way.
Right.
Yeah, if you can't understand Parachum, it's Larry JD.
All right. Hey, man, the name that I could never forget of all podcast shows. BS, talk to me.
Hi, what's going on, guys? My name is Colin. I am the co-host of Full Paranormal BS. And just in case anyone's wondering, the B stands for believer, and the S stands for skeptic, who is my other co-host who cannot be with us tonight.
There you go.
Yes.
Hey, if y'all believe that, if y'all want to, man, I know I don't. I mean, all right. Hey, man, last but not least, what's up, Big Money Rick?
I'm a co-host as well for Paranormal Musings as well, and also an investigator with Sheffield Paranormal here in Florida. We're out of Florida. In case you didn't know.
You boys down there in Florida, y'all run deep, don't y'all?
Yeah, we try, man. We gotta do it. We stay close.
Hey, look, my co-host finally woke up. How you doing, Irene?
I was up.
Oh, okay. She was up, y'all. Now, did I get everybody? Is everybody accounted for? All right.
Thanks.
All right. Like I say, man, I appreciate you guys joining us. Hey, all you guys that are on, man, so many different platforms tonight. All you guys that are on Kick, Twitch, Rumble, Instagram, X, Facebook, YouTube, and Spooky Japan podcast in Japan. So, hey, guys, welcome to the show, man. I appreciate you guys. Now, this show is unique, man, because I sit back and I watch some of y'all's podcasts. Whether you guys think I don't, but you know what? I'm sneaky like that. I'll be sitting back and watching the shows, you know, and you guys ask some unique questions to your guests. I'm, you know, and I'm sitting up there and I'm thinking, I'm like, you know what? How would they react if the roles were reversed? How do you think they would answer that particular question? Why I put this show together. So I want to be able to pick your minds like you pick your guest minds, and I want to make all you podcasters think just for a minute. If that's okay with y'all, can I get an amen?
Amen.
Amen.
What you
Amen to
asked.
that, brother.
All right, guys. Hey, man, tonight we're using a teleprompter, and I got all these questions lined up. So, guys, feel free. When I ask the first question, I generally want everybody, because everybody's answer is going to be different. And and the great thing about this show, I enjoy a civil debate. So if you agree with or disagree with a podcaster, feel free to be respectful and just say, hey, say what you think. You guys heard the word respectful. So we got to be respectful no matter what. You know what I'm saying? So are you guys ready for this?
Absolutely.
Ready, Freddy.
Yes, sir.
All right. So you know what? The first question of the day is, why are you guys podcasters? Why do you guys do what you do? And I'm going to start with Big T. Big T.
You want me to go first?
Yes, sir.
So we started in, was it 2024? End of 2024, Cordell?
Yes, sir.
But I wanted to do it for a few years. One of my favorite podcasts is a paranormal podcast that I still listen to. And they got, I was like, oh man, I could do this. And then old team I was on, the lead had mentioned it, and once I got going, I couldn't stop. So here we are. Just not too much over a year later, something like that. Yeah. So maybe, yeah, it was 2024, December in 2024. End of December is when we started, and we're having fun. I am anyway.
Yeah, me too, buddy.
Now, guys, when I mentioned why are we podcasters, Terry laid out a good example, but I want to be a little bit more deeper than that. Why are we podcasters? Why do you guys do what you do?
I can answer that.
I'm curious on why you guys do what you do.
Yeah. Well,
Is there anybody out there? I'm all
Terry,
here.
yeah, Terry invited me on to his podcast after he had created it. I'm still having fun. I think it's a fun thing to do. I think one of the things that I really like about it though is you meet a lot of different people, and I like to hear the different stories that come from people with experiences in the paranormal and their techniques and things like that we can all pick up on and just listen to some of the experiences that everybody has, because everybody's different and everybody has a different experience. So I think it's really cool to hear things like that, and that's why I like it.
Okay.
And do it.
Anybody else?
I wanted something different. I think that was me and my best friend, who is also my co-host. We would watch movies together, or we would talk about some paranormal happenings, because I've been involved with paranormal since I was young, and she would always roll her eyes or be like, well, maybe it could have happened because of this. And her and I sat there and said, you know what, like we talk about this stuff for hours on end. How about we take it to the next level? And that's kind of where it started. And I love to hear her thoughts and opinions, because as a paranormal investigator, when we've been doing this for so long, we always tend to sit there and say, okay, well, I can't explain this. This is paranormal. And the great thing about Jess is that she sits there and she goes deep into the research, and she was like, well, maybe this was the cause of this. Maybe this had happened. And it makes you think. And having that skeptic and having that personality on board, it really helps with the conversation within the paranormal community.
Okay. Who's next? Talk to me.
I think we, this is our first time, but I think we started to do it just to kind of get some more answers into stuff that we didn't understand fully ourselves. So we went on a couple months together, and we're trying to refine what we did. So we figured coming on a podcast, we could learn some new things that we could use, and that's why we're doing it.
Okay, cool. All right, last but not least, Chumming, talk to me.
There you go. Shoot, so we actually started this whole thing in late July of 2024, just around the time that you guys did musings.
COVID.
Yeah. So we were trying to do documentaries, and COVID happened and kind of crapped on everyone.
Shut down all the sites in our area. You couldn't go anywhere.
So we were sitting in one of our friends' basements drinking and watching stuff on Paranormal.
And talking about all the stuff that we've seen personally.
Yeah, and it was fun to see how the stories, the more drinks you got into it. So we're like, we should film this because this is pretty hilarious. And that's where it all began. So
hence the name Coming with the Spirits, the dual. We get a lot of people that are skeptic, and we'll ask them, well, have you had anything paranormal? And they're like, no, not really. We'll start having a drink or two talking, and we're like, I'll talk about my history of growing up in a haunted house and footsteps or up the stairs or pardon me. And then Larry will mention some of his experiences, and then they'll go, well, there was this one time. And then we're like, okay, we got you. And then they start going in. And we're like, it's lubrication to get them to feel okay. Because a lot of people, they don't want to sound crazy or stupid, but try to give a safe spot for people to talk about the experiences they have. And we get a lot of people who don't want to be on the podcast, but they want to tell us what happened. I'm sure all you guys run into the same thing. And meeting people and working with other podcasts. We're really pro podcasts. We jumped on this opportunity when Terry reached out to us. We like what we're doing. We really love the community. It's really changed since COVID. Everybody, we don't have enough podcasters out there. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I think we have another million more. If you enjoy what you're doing and you love doing this, talking with people, hop in.
Agreed.
We get to do it.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm the last but not least. I'm going to tell you why I decided to do a podcast. There wasn't enough information out there. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, how do I figure this out? Who do I need to talk to? Where do I need to go? And all this abundance of information that's out there, I just felt like there wasn't enough of us that are communicating. I mean, paranormal investigators don't always communicate with other paranormal investigators. Especially when there's conflict or disagreements or whatever the case may be. Or somebody might look on your YouTube and see the way that you're doing things, and they might not agree with it. And I'm like, dude, we got to be able to think above all the BS. I got you on that, didn't I? Think about all the BS. Think about all the BS that's happening and come together and figure things out. And like Chumming said, we need more. We need more podcasters out there because, believe it or not, guys, as we watch TV and we watch the news, those guys are called anchors. I mean, but really, they just podcasters putting information out. If you really want to look at it, if you really want to look
Actually,
at it, they pretty much
we
do the
are
same thing we do.
newscasters. We represent the news out there. We get the subject, we present what's there, and we represent the news. So we tell the news, we tell the story of the news that's going out there.
Exactly. But do you guys think, like Chumming said, there's not enough? Because every day we know the paranormal community is evolving. We know everything is evolving day by day, hour by hour. Just when you think something is new, 20 minutes late, 20 minutes from now, that's old news compared to what's going on at this moment now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we need to be fresh and up to date. We need, and I just thought that nobody was out there representing it like that.
I think we need
And I'm like,
I
wow,
think we need podcasters from every country around the world. I think we need that. I think we need more versatility of everyone from every country, because I think we need to all come together and to talk together and to share our knowledge, our our work together, and to share our knowledge together.
Yeah, there's a big UK.
That's what it's all about, man.
Yeah. Well, and it works
I'm-
out with the time
I'm
zone.
part of the UK group, so I know, but there's not enough because UK only talks amongst themselves because it's really hard to get time difference in for different people. So I get it, and I'm working with the people from the Netherlands are also part of me. So it's really I got into because the UK groups got me into this, but um I think there's not enough people from everywhere to be working together because everyone like works with their own cliquey people, and because you don't work with because they don't find you in their molds, they'll just toss you out because yeah, you don't belong, or they don't like something about you, or there's something there that they're afraid that you know more than them. So yeah, you become kind of like um all by yourself, like me. I'm all by myself, and so I find myself kind of like out there, and nobody seems to want to learn or understand or see or to find out what's the best way to help yourself when to get into a rotten situation. How do you get out of it, and what to do? And it's there's just nobody out there wanting to talk about it.
So I think we've kind of lucked out where we're at. We're in the greater Kansas City area. There is a ton of haunted locations and are like within a couple hours all the way around. So we're blessed and lucky to have that. But we have an army of different paranormal investigators that we get to work with. Like we did our own team. With us being a podcast, we're kind of like that liaison for those for the investigation groups. Where when we go do a podcast, like we'll do a podcast at a haunted location, invite some paranormal groups in, put our cameras up, film them doing stuff, see how they're doing stuff. But we try to be that intermediary because there's a lot of paranormal groups that don't want to do a podcast. They'll come on a podcast, but that's why I'm saying there needs to be more of these podcasts to get those people to talk. Because there's so many people that still don't believe in the paranormal but there's years of evidence, video, sounds, experiences.
What I'm having trouble here is because I'm the only one who will come out and say something about this country, right? nobody else would do it because everyone's hiding. Because in this country, if your employers find out what you're doing, you can get canned from your job and you will never be able to work ever again in whatever industry you're working in.
Wow.
Yeah, this is Japan, right? Yeah. But you see, I don't have to worry about it because I don't work for anybody. And so I find myself alone. I've got enough work with working with him, but but I mean, there's
Wait a minute, who's him?
you. Well, how many times have you gotten into trouble, right?
I haven't said anything.
Uh-huh. Well,
I'm innocent in all this.
Anyways, there isn't enough.
I'm innocent.
There isn't enough of me in this country. There's no paracons. There's no nothing, and it's just me, myself, and I. And I find then there's so many haunted places here that you can get in free, and you don't have to pay anything to get in there. But nobody's willing to do it. Plus, it's kind of dangerous too. Yeah, because you could be wound up in a box the next day if you're not careful about where you're going to. So I pick and choose my poison, right? But there are places that you can go into that are not that horrible, right? And it's just you pick and choose your poison, you pick and choose where you want to go to. But there's so many paranormal places here of the history of over 100 years that nobody wants to go to. And nobody wants to take an airplane across the ocean for 14 hours and to land here and find, now what do I do? Where do I go to? And they're picking the most worst places to go to, and they're finding themselves in trouble. But it's just, yeah, there are so many other places, and it's just abundance of paranormal places. But well, I'm sitting here. Okay, I'll take you if you want to go. But you have to abide by my rules because my rules are totally different from your rules, and it's just a little bit different here. It's scarier here.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, I think
mean,
a
I
lot
think
of that
every
has to do with
country.
the fact of. I was about to say no, like Terry, with every country is different. I think no matter where you go, like what I love to travel the seas and go to different countries and other places, 1000%. But one thing that really stops, at least myself, I know culture stops me from doing that. I'm not looking to insult another person's country by,
Yeah.
putting what I know as a paranormal investigator into what someone else believes.
Mhm.
Especially if I'm not part of that native land.
Yeah.
That's to me, that's huge. But also, I'm not really into breaking into places anymore because I'm no longer in my 20s, right? Like I'm
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, you can't climb over that darn fence anymore, right? Yeah.
Once those cops are called,
All grown up.
I can only throw my cell phone so far and pretend I lost it while I was there that afternoon. I can't do that anymore. So there are things that really stop us or stop myself from doing that.
It's just hard trying to show. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this, is to educate and to show people what there is out here, and that you don't have to go to any place dangerous to find anything paranormal, right? um I get my news right off Google when when something happens to somebody or something happens in situation. Ooh, yeah, that's paranormal, and they don't notice it. But I notice it because I can see it. It just, yeah, it's just crazy, and because we live so close together, like from my house to the next door's houses, and yeah, from the houses in front of us, it's just, and the roads are narrower, that things will happen, and things do happen, right? And it's just part of our country and a part of society, and how we live and where we live.
Yeah.
I'm just
I
going to
gotta
ask a
say,
question.
yes.
Can I ask a question? Since COVID, do you find the veil is really thinning out now? That there's more hauntings, there's more people um getting bumped in the middle of the night by spirits?
I think there was a lot of people that have been woken up, so to speak, to the concept of the afterlife and spirituality. I think that that is the reason why we're starting to notice more people like us getting into the field and going after and looking for answers, because we are now attuned to it, so to speak, because our whole lives, and I'm sure we've spoke about this before on our prior podcast, Terry, like as children, at least for me, our parents will be, you'd be like, oh, there's something in the closet, I'm scared, mommy, or whatever. And it's, no, dude, you're fine, there's nothing in there. You know what I mean? But as kids, we have a sixth sense, so to speak. So I believe that we shut that off as we are told to do so pretty much our whole lives. And then I think that now people are starting to awaken from that, and to in more attunement with the spiritual world.
Yeah, because I
Rode out of it.
I haven't had a vacation since, and it's been really hard since COVID. I haven't had a vacation. I was like, okay, this April I have to take one day off, and I'm just going. I'm running on thin these days. I'm going little.
I don't think it was necessarily I don't think it was necessarily COVID that really awakens anything. I think what COVID ended up doing was giving us this uptick of paranormal TV shows that we all had no choice but to sit down and watch because we couldn't go anywhere. And we all sat there and said, I could do that. And then Discovery put on their website, they opened a portal to basically say, hey, you have an idea, submit it to us, and we might take you on. And a lot of people did that. And I think that's kind of what COVID helped do. I don't necessarily think that I think maybe a lot of people kind of opened their eyes to a lot of what was going on in the world because they had nothing else to do.
Right. Exactly.
Everything was shut down.
But also a lot of people did die from COVID, right? So you find there was a lot of people who weren't not necessarily died because they were old, because they died because they got sick. So that could bring out something also.
Well, and I think
now, guys, go ahead.
I think too. I was just gonna throw out that you were talking about the older generation, like when we were kids. If we told our parents that there was a monster in the closet, our parents
just a house settler,
or they would have been like, "Hey, that sounds like a you problem."
Yeah, it is.
That older generation is starting to figure out. And these people that had experiences, children that believe something was there, are following through.
Yeah. But I agree. I think COVID was a catalyst to give a lot of people more time to look into stuff. Like we couldn't investigate because most sites locked down. A lot of negative paranormal groups, because there used to be a bunch of drama in the paranormal, at least in our area. They kind of fizzled out. They kind of ate themselves up without anything to do. Once the sites open back up, it's a lot more positive people like, hey, we're doing this. We want people to know what's going on. We have some really great locations. So COVID kind of gave that pause, gave people time, which why we're podcasters, that's what happened to us, to do this. And more people got into it once the sites opened up. Because there are some sites that were locked into certain paranormal groups. So those groups aren't there anymore. So now they're open to more people, which then helps everybody else out. Because now you can go to sites that before you had to be friends with somebody and know somebody just to get, to be able to go into a certain site. So
interesting. Guys, quit. I mean, COVID. COVID, that whole situation to me personally, it's a double-edged sword. And the reason why I say it's a double-edged sword is it was able, like you say, we are able to take advantage of the situation. Of course, a lot of people died. We still don't know the numbers. The numbers can be true. The numbers can be false. When we're dealing with government numbers, I really don't believe in what government numbers are saying. That's just me. Also, when we're dealing with being in a certain area for a certain period of time, we know we couldn't go outside, and you guys are saying that people were able to do this and do that, but yet I think when that happened, I think social media blew up.
Exactly.
I think social media blew up. That was at the point where social media was at its highest peak.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
the double-edged sword, the sword comes in when, like I always tell people, you have all this. They're pushing the narrative. They're pushing out their content, and everybody's watching. But let's realize half the content that these guys were pushing out was BS.
Mm.
All the content that these guys were pushing out was bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And that trickles down. That trickles down. That trickles down. Okay, because like I always tell people that come on my show, if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it right. We're gonna do it the way our paranormal forefathers taught us to do it. Of course, the game has changed a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you introduce the new technology and stuff like that, so the game has changed, but the foundation stays the same.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Spirits don't change.
Even though
We change. We change. The spirits don't change us. We change. We evolve.
Even
The
though,
spirits have been there for
even
millions
though,
of years.
even though social media have put a lot of BS out, and a lot of people have put a lot of BS out, and I think that hurt us from a certain standpoint. You know, because now the Ashes and the Tammys of the world, the young ones that are looking at this and thinking, man, these guys are doing it this way. You know, maybe they're getting more evidence. So we're going to slide ourselves this way instead of doing it the traditional way. So, you know, these guys here are getting a little bit more, they're getting a little bit more noticed. You know, they're getting a little bit, eye catching. And at the whole time, dude, they're not putting nothing out but garbage.
I truly believe
So
this group right here and all the other podcasters and us is the next phase of paranormal TV. There's not Travel Channel isn't doing a whole bunch of shows anymore. Chip Coffee is making posts about it. Yeah, like them or not, it just. But people are going. Social media kicked off in COVID. It now allows people to start looking at. You don't have to spend $100,000 per episode. You can go grab a camera and go out and investigate or film somebody else investigating. We're right in the transition because like there's all these streaming channels, but reality is that's where people are going to get their paranormal now. It's not on network TVs. It's going because you guys are real. I mean, they oh, I forgot my batteries. Oh, oh, that step's a little off. We all
run all the time.
Like, here's the microphone. You're like back at the house. Oh shoot,
Yeah.
I mean, it's the realism.
So you guys can actually agree with me on the next question number 2. So podcasters, we are on the front line of all this. Would you guys agree with that? We are the ones. I mean, true enough, paranormal investigators were there, but when it comes to getting out certain type of information, the podcasters are the ones that are putting out this information. You know, everything is being related from person to person to person to person. We all know, like I mentioned earlier, paranormal investigators aren't going to discuss what they do to get better evidence. Sometimes they keep that within themselves, but as podcasters, we're willing to share whatever knowledge that we have.
I agree with that, especially in the historical aspect. So my favorite station used to be the History Channel because I liked to watch the biographical stuff on wars and history and people. And no one is talking about historically haunted cases, UFO incidents, cryptid sightings. And the podcasters that are in the paranormal now are getting that information out to more people
Mm-hmm.
that have been getting that information in the past 20 years. So I do believe in that aspect, paranormal podcasters are the head of the line.
Getting the information out on locations, on reaffirming, because some places people forget about how or why it was haunted or what the theories behind it are. And I'm a history buff. I love old architecture. So I mean, like if I can go sit in like the 1889 McIntyre Villa, it's up in Atchison, beautiful location.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the stuff. Getting that information out to people, going, hey, this is what we've experienced. This is a decent location. This,
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people when they're starting out paranormal investigating, they don't know where to go. And like I said, I'm not going to be breaking into any place. I don't recommend that anymore.
I'm too fat for that.
Yeah, I can't run.
Too old.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say that, like me personally on my podcast, that I'm a front line of any of information that is right now today, because like I know that we deal with old cases, like we just did Amityville and we did Cecil Hotel,
Mhm.
because I think history is important. History is
Mhm.
so important to put
100%.
out there
Mhm.
in the world of paranormal, because sure, we've got new things happening each and every single day, but a
Mhm.
lot of these cases are still world known because of what these people went through, or in some cases didn't go through, if they made stuff up, like we find out that information. And so that's what I deal with, is really deeply diving into history, through different authors, through the internet, through libraries, if I can get there, to figure out what we can put out there and make sure that it's accurate. That's the one thing that I know as a paranormal investigator. Accuracy. You have to be accurate with your research, and you might find different opinions on things, or you might find different facts that don't add up, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But say that. If you found other things, put it out there.
Yeah. If you find something out later or piece of evidence, or like, oh, that ended up being something. But talking about that, the history is very important, because some of these locations may go away. They're on very
Yeah.
large land masses. And if we don't talk about why they're significant, they will go away. And we'll lose that. Well, I don't know what will exactly happen. Either a new building is going to be with mainframes and ghosts are going to be messing up servers, or I
Yeah.
don't know how that works, but I would hate for us to lose some of these sites. So by talking about them and reassuring people, hey, there's activity here, people are going to go there, help support that community, which then helps all us. I mean, like in Florida, I mean, St. Augustine, the whole freaking city is just beautiful and
Yeah.
haunted.
It really is.
That's where I'm from. OG.
Oh,
We actually just learned that one of our most haunted spots here in Florida, that two of us out of the three have been to, is gone now. It is
Mhm.
it will no longer be open for paranormal investigations as we know it. So
Yeah.
Do
Right.
you also
old Hamilton jail.
that
Oh,
sometimes
wow.
the books got it wrong, and that we are, well, at least I'm there to show that no, this has not really happened. This is what happened, because talking to the spirits will give you more information about what really happened there, and and the history of why it happened, who did something to what, and what was going on in that area, or what was going on in that hotel, if it was a brothel, if it was a bar, or whatever. And I think the history books is written by somebody who thought, who was hearing something from somebody else, and wrote it down, and boom, okay, that's what happened to that place. But there's a lot of I have a problem with history books, because I think sometimes it's not accurate as I wish it would be. So that's why I like going in blind. Also, we don't have anything in this country about vital records, about anything about the property, because they just scrap it, because the land is so small that they don't want anybody buying that piece of property knowing that there was something bad happened, or somebody that died on it, or somebody who, or whatever sword fighting that happened on that land. They don't want you to know. So that's why they don't have vital records, and they end up building something on top of it. And well, guess what? You know, you're in boo-boo trouble. Or they end up building a whole bunch of houses on there, and they shouldn't be doing it. But it's just it's frustrating for me because you cannot buy a house, buy you cannot rent an apartment without knowing what really happened there, and they're not going to let you go in there alone and find out what happened, because you could be winding up in a whole mess of trouble with you and your family. And it's just really frustrating sometimes because uh they're not you don't have to disclose anything if it's haunted or not. It's at your own risk. It's just because of the
I
lack of
agree on
land.
that.
It's the lack of the land.
Yeah, well, and books aren't always accurate either.
I
I mean,
mean,
we've read the Bible, so but there's things that have happened throughout history that we know. We're like, okay, there's a different opinion. There's a different version of it. There's always an updated version of something that was on history.
Yeah.
And it's but even if it comes to the idea of you having an impression, whether it's a spiritual impression, whether it's a vision, or however you translate or believe that, at the end of the day, it's still an opinion. Because there's no way to prove that. There's no way for you, Terry, or you, Irene, to believe me when I say this is what I saw in my mind
true.
that someone
That's true.
whispered to me. It's either way.
Actually, whatever I see is you want to believe me, that's up to you. You don't
Yeah.
want to believe that's your privilege. So, it's not my responsibility to make you see what I can see. On top of that, too.
interesting. All right, guys. We're gonna go on here now. This is a very touchy question, and I hope you guys can be honest with me with this, because I'm gonna be honest with you guys. If somebody was to ask me the question, I would be honestly and say, yes, I've actually done this. But do podcasters cross any ethical lines? If you did, would you do it again? Starting with BS. Have you ever done something like that? And do it again?
Well, in response, do podcasters cross ethical lines? Yes. I do not personally. I mean, for example, we just did an episode on the Cecil Hotel, and if everyone knows a little bit about the history of the Cecil, we had put on our podcast that it does discuss dark topics of suicide and murder and all of that, because we wanted people to see that, look, like, this is getting into some deep, heavy stuff. Unethically, we could easily sit there and not put any of that out there and put someone in, especially these younger people, because the Cecil is not necessarily open right now, and have people listen to that blind. And I think if you're in a dark spot and you want to listen to something like that, it's not a good idea. So we wanted to make sure that people knew, look, this place, we talk about some seriously dark stuff. There was a lady who thought her newborn had passed and tossed it out the window, and we talk about that. And so we always try to remain ethical and respectful, because at the end of the day, the people who have passed are victims. Especially dealing with something like the Cecil, when you have victims, people have committed suicide there numerous times. They're victims at the end of the day, and we want to stay respectful to those people. But I've seen a lot of people cross ethical lines, especially out there on YouTube, because unfortunately it's the idea of, we live in a world where views are what potentially make you money. And so now ethical stands at a monetary value. And I choose not to watch those type of people. I choose not to support those type of people on a personal level, because if I'm not going to do it or say it, and I've said a lot of things and I've done a lot of things, sometimes on camera, but I'm still not going to put it out there. If that's stuff that you want to see or watch, look up my OnlyFans. The way I
just say, Patreon.
Go to Patreon. That's where you're seeing.
Oh man.
Fucking baller.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's crazy. Anybody else want to comment on that? I'm totally open with it.
Yeah, so yes, people can cross, as a podcaster, a moral line. So one of the things that we try to do, we try to make sure anything that we're covering is not current. We've covered the Bloody Benders, one of the first serial killing families, if they're a family, in Cherryville, Kansas, 3 hours away. So we have a timeline. We don't want to get too close. If it's over 25 years ago, then yes, we've talked about but we weigh it because we don't want to disrespect anybody that's actually still around that directly interacted with that. So there are some people that they don't care. Like they'll just do, and they said, "Let there be light."
Mm-hmm.
But that's
there are also people who post haunted places from here, and it's dangerous. Okay, because it can come after you, and it's not blessed. And I'm one of the responsible ones because my son and I, we've talked about it. And we talk about certain videos that you shouldn't be posting on whatever. So it's my responsibility not to post it. It's my responsibility to say, hey, it's, you have to know what you're watching, and you have to be careful when whatever you're watching. And it's not always safe. And some stuff out there is really dangerous. And it's all on YouTube, right? Yeah. Because they don't care. They just find a video and post it on YouTube and say, okay, watch this. It's haunted. Right. Okay. And I'm saying don't. And they said, why don't you post it in your group? Because I don't. Because I know what it's out there and I know what it is. And my son has told me about it. And he told me, yeah, this and this and this is not safe. I said, okay. And so it's my responsibility to make sure that if you see it, it's at your own risk. But on the other side, it's my responsibility if something happens to you that I'm the one who posted it, so I shouldn't be posting it.
And really quickly, Terry, I just saw a comment down there by Eric. Self-induced killing is not a victim. I disagree with you, Eric. It is, you're very much a victim. Unfortunately, when you do something like that, I think that there are possibly other entities at work, not only paranormal wise, but also psychologically. There are things going on, and mental health is real, folks. And unfortunately. It happens, and it's terrible. So I do think that you are a victim. I think there are people who do it to be a victim, and there's a difference between, unfortunately being a victim of your own mental landscape as opposed to doing something for attention.
It's all about
and unfortunately that happens as well. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, you
I
also
lived in a condo
Right?
for 20 years, and and I'm not going to get into what happened, but anyways, it was a bad place, okay? And I could hear spirits, okay? And they were telling me to unalive myself, okay? I didn't. And I had to ignore it. But that place was an unalive condo, okay? Because everyone was unaliving themselves because the spirits were telling them to do it. And you get into a certain trance and you aren't yourself and you take a nosedive. And I can't tell you that it's not a victim. You become a victim of the area who makes you. If it's spirits, if it's a building, if it's the environment, it will make you unalive yourself. And I've seen it. And it happened 18 times. So 18 people became victims of that place. So yes, you can be a victim of that.
Can I throw it one further and ask
Okay,
everybody?
go ahead.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. It's yours.
Can a location itself be a victim?
Yes. Yeah. I talk what I feel bad because I keep going back to my latest episode of my podcast, but exposure. Stephen King wrote about Rose Red, and in one of the very first lines, he talks about how some places are just born bad. I feel that there are locations out there that are victims because of the land, the Sylvia Brown, the land, honey, the land, with the idea that we build, right? Like that is what we do. Like we build things on land that has a tragic history. And that whatever you've built on it has become somewhat of a victim, a location, 100%. It didn't ask to be built.
Yeah, no. But
Ground never
the
forgets the
developers
history.
want to make money, right? They want to make money, so they build it on that stupid piece of land, like the place where we lived for 20 years, and we practically had to run away. And yeah, we just left everything and run. And it's the people who live afterwards also become a victim of that circumstances where they didn't know what happened and you were not told, and you find out later on by living there how bad it is and how much it affects you, your family, everybody who's living there gets hurt because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting back to the land thing, I think.
Hey, BS. Go ahead. It's yours. Go ahead. Speak.
Well, I was just going to say, getting back to the land thing, I think, if you were to strip away some of these buildings that were haunted off of the land and continue to investigate the land, you would probably find that it's just as haunted, without the buildings there.
Exactly.
Look at Gettysburg.
It just
Yeah,
creates
exactly.
more
Yeah.
energy because something's on there, and it's like it swells and it musters up and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But unfortunately,
Interesting.
it takes us to teach them and tell them, hey, this place is not safe or whatever. But it takes more of us to do that. That's where we're educate. That's where we become the educators.
All right. So, BS, I think this because when you mentioned this, the comment came right back. So I think this guy want to have a little conversation with you. So I'm going to post it and you can respond if you like.
Victim of your own circumstances. Yeah, I think that I think all of us in the world are victims of our own circumstances, because as human beings, we make choices, and there are times that we come to regret those choices, and there are times that we just kind of power through. But I do feel that when it comes to mental health, whether once again it's a mental thing or it's a spiritual thing, you have those voices talking to you. And you choose to do something that is not okay. Unfortunately, I've had friends be victim to suicide. I've had family members be victim to suicide, and you have to put yourself in that mentality to understand kind of what is going on. And I think all of us at some point, especially when we're teenagers, right, when we're going through that adolescence of going to adulthood where we think the world is over because mom didn't buy me that video game. It's little things like that we just don't know what's going on. And that is the reason why we need to understand and be kind to one another and help one another. And, I'm a big fan of broadcasting just positivity and love, because I honestly feel that, when you hold the door open for someone or you say, hey, your hair looks really pretty today, you don't know what that person was going through 2 minutes prior to that conversation, and they could have been ready to take their own lives as soon as they left wherever you were. So by doing little things like that, we are no longer becoming victims of those circumstances. We are overcoming those fears and no longer being a victim. We are broadcasting our power. So you have to take ownership of that. And in order to broadcast your power, you got to take ownership of owning up that victimhood.
Yeah.
I'd like to throw back in on the morality thing. There's a lot of stuff in the paranormal realm, all of it. There's a fine line of why people get into the paranormal research. They're looking for answers. Some people have issues that they're trying to figure out. So, and there are sites. People don't understand. There are sites that you can go to that will give you bad thoughts, bad roads, bad areas. So, if you're hearing things or you're thinking that, reach out. There are numbers out there, please, because people don't understand. Just because they're gone, that what they leave behind gets transferred to everybody else around them. All their families and becomes the victim to remember and forget. So, like I said, from a morality standpoint, we are in a very delicate field. People come in a lot of times looking for answers because they have a lot of their own questions that they're trying to figure out. So please, if you ever have those type of thoughts, reach out to our numbers. We don't want to add to or take away from the paranormal field.
You also have to kind of be careful when in this field when people come to you, because a lot of the times they've already put in their head the answer that they want, and if you give them the opposite, that might not go over too well. So you kind of have to tread that thin line.
Be respectful. And no one knows anything for sure. There's no actual experts in what we do. We all have opinions. We all have theories. We have some stuff tested, but until you get to the other side, I don't know if we really have all the answers.
Yeah.
There's another thing to it is that in North America, I'm gonna step on a stinky apple. I know it's gonna hurt a lot of people, but hey, I don't care. I mean, on this side of the world, according to this, you're allowed to unalive yourself if you're not happy with this life, and you will become something that would be more in tune with yourself in the next life. So there is a different aspect. There's a different thinking.
Totally different culture.
When it comes to this. So if you're unhappy with this life, you can come back and be happier in the next life. That's why we have that forest here, right? People want to visit it. You don't go there. No, I don't go there. I don't take people there because it's a place to unalive yourself. If you're living, you don't go there. Only if you want to die, that's when you go there, right? So it's a different kind of thinking. And that's why I think people say it's bad. But, I mean, okay. My aspect is that if you're unhappy, if you're sick, if you know you're not going to live, if you're going to suffer, I don't think it's wrong. We put our pets to sleep because they're dying. I don't see, because you become a
water bottle.
Hypocrite, right? So it's different. It's a way of thinking. That's why I'm here, as doing what I'm doing, and teaching what I know from my side of the globe than what everyone else thinks, because it's like me slipping on a banana peel, and not everybody agrees with it. That's fine too if you don't. But
my man Joe has finally stepped into the building. Joe, what's up, brother? How you doing this afternoon?
What's going on, my brother? I just got done mowing grass not too long ago, so in March.
But you know what? Yeah, hey, welcome to the show, man. Appreciate you guys coming. BS, I think you might have got up under somebody's skin, man, because this guy is actually coming after you, man. I'm just going to put the comments up, and let you guys go at it for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Because he's coming at you.
You said it. I don't mind, obviously being controversial with a lot of things. I'm all about spreading positivity, but it's the same thing as, I've done stand-up comedy for a number of years, and at the end of the day, I'm the one with the mic. I'm the one who's here. My opinion was asked to do this, and because we've been doing this for a lot of us for a number of years. And Eric, sir, I respect you. I hope that you are not in that place. Because you seem to be very vocal about it. And I hope that, you have the opportunity to talk to someone. And you're right. Everyone has choices. And we all have to live with those choices. I say live with no regrets, but that's impossible as human beings. Just to know that, no matter where you are in life, that you are loved by someone, and that's always yourself. Always love yourself. There are always going to be people around you who love you, and those are your choices. Your choices are to be present.
$20 is $20.
T, you've been quiet over there, man. What's on your mind? What's on your mind? You know what? If anybody know about mental health, it would be Big T.
Yeah.
What
the backstory to that?
is it? Cordell? Is it Cordell or me?
I'll just touch on that.
There's only one Big T.
Yeah, it's GT, man.
Okay, what's the question? I thought it was for Cordell.
Go ahead,
He started
bro.
talking.
He said if there's anyone who knows about mental health, it would be you.
Yeah. Seen some stuff. That's about as far as I'll go into it.
Yeah.
The
I understand
people I see it from, there's that their business.
I understand that.
Working because I haven't heard them very much.
We have been doing that for a long time here.
We
have been doing that for a long time here, Terry.
Yeah. The next question, guys. We're all paranormal podcasters. And I'm not going to say that I have not done this because I have pushed the narrative on every podcast, every guest that I've been on. And I'm pretty sure that all you guys have done that. Have you guys ever pushed your guest out of their comfort zone for you to get the story? Have you guys ever done that? I'm not gonna lie. I have. I'll push my guests to the end of. I'll push them to the far end, just to see what they're really thinking.
So
push them to their limits.
I don't know if we would say push, but we did gentle nudge as we talk about it, because trying to get people comfortable enough to tell their stories. Some are traumatic. I mean, and others are they're still questioning. I had stuff happen to me when I was a kid from a haunted location that I still try to figure out whether or not my brain still goes, oh no, it's probably just a house freaking, type of thing. So we generally try to nudge people to get to be, because if it is traumatic, you can see it. And there's sometimes it doesn't make the podcast because if they're that upset by talking about it, that gets back into morality. It's like, how well do you know the guest? How well, are they comfortable? I mean, we've cut stuff out because it was traumatic to them, versus the other that they just needed a couple sips of whiskey and us talking about our trauma that we've had. They're all of a sudden like, oh, well, you guys are probably crazy like us, so I can now tell you, I heard footsteps on those stairs and there's no one there. But that's where we're at.
Yeah, we're usually live, so kind of I feel have to be a little careful with. I would say we don't push people. Hear something in their answer, it'd be like, okay, we'll ask about it. I don't think we've ever asked about mental health or anything. Me personally, don't want to have somebody relive something if they don't, but if they do and they want to talk about it, absolutely. Getting it out helps. A lot of people don't believe that, but talking helps a lot.
Talking about it, having people willing to listen to you say and not judge is hugely helpful for some people.
Yeah.
I'm a Gen X guy. I'm assuming no one doesn't care. I was a latchkey kid when I went home. So, Ash, Justin,
I understand.
Say that again.
I've always.
Well, like I said, this is our first podcast, so we're just kind of jumping into this. We want to learn more about it, but when it comes to pushing anybody, I don't think we would ever push somebody out of their comfort zone. If they didn't want to talk about something, that's on them. That's on them.
I think you could read the room too, and if we're just kind and sympathetic and just you can tell when somebody wants to divulge or when somebody would like to just keep that to themselves. And I think it's really important to kind of pick up on those cues when talking with anybody, really, in general, life, you know.
Right.
Mhm.
Is it possible? Is it possible that you don't know that you're doing it, and you can be possibly be doing it?
Sure.
Yeah.
I've heard.
Oh,
I've
absolutely.
had
Absolutely.
instance.
We are human after all.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's. I'm not gonna lie. I've done it before. You know.
I know
I've
you
done it.
have.
I have pushed people to their limits. On my podcast, because I really want you to think about it. You know, because when I'm asking questions you've never, ever, ever even heard of or even thought about, and you can be on 30,000 different podcasts, and I'm coming at you with questions that will make you have an Arsenio Hall moment. It will make you say, you know, it will make you think.
I think
You know what I'm saying? I will push you out of your comfort zone. And I don't mean
So
anything negative. It would be
But
so
then again,
positive that I just want
you
I want you to think about it.
but
To
you
be
can't.
fair,
But there are questions that you've asked me that I couldn't tell you, right?
yeah.
so. I think what makes a
That's a
paranormal
different story.
podcaster is the fact that we may not necessarily push the people that we're interviewing, but on a daily basis, we're crossing that line on ourselves and pushing ourselves by doing research, even if it's trying to understand a case or a historical account or figuring out something that happened to us as a kid.
Mhm.
We are constantly doing that to ourselves because that's who we are.
But to be fair, if somebody says they have a full body apparition show up to them, I'm going to ask questions because that's the holy grail that everybody wants to see. So
Yeah.
inadvertently, maybe there is by the questioning of, well, what color eyes were, what, daytime, nighttime.
There's also that line if they tell you that the full body apparition touched them in the wrong ways, you're going to be like, cool. Don't have to go into that.
But those are things that we have to do. I think there are times where we have to push people outside of comfort zones because, I mean, let's face it, like we're not, interviewing Lindsay Lohan about to go to rehab for the 47th time here. So it's like, if you're coming on to, a podcast and talk about your paranormal experience and you're giving me breadcrumbs, I gotta reel this out there to get more out of you. But I also think there is a fine line.
I love this dude.
Like Chumin was saying, I think there's a fine line. Well, but there's a fine line though. I had a case. I had a case where I had to unfortunately ask a lady if she was, SA'd when she was younger because of the experiences that she was currently having. Because we've all seen the research where, where research does state that, maybe you are having some sort of TK or PK experience based off of something that was traumatic for you as a child. And I had to ask her these questions, but I warned her ahead of time. I was like, if you're not comfortable answering, that's okay. But this is the reason why I'm asking you this. It's not just random or because I want to know your history because I'm so curious. This is the reason why.
Also, your format.
But there are questions out there that I cannot answer, that I cannot tell you. Like, I cannot tell you what happens after you die. I know what happens because I was given those answers.
I clearly understand that. I do.
I cannot tell you.
But here is the big thing. Everybody on this podcast has the same moving parts as everybody else. We are human. We want to know. It's in our DNA to want to know. There is there is no reason. If somebody says, "Oh well, I don't care," that's a big fat lie because we want to know what's going on. It's in our DNA.
But are you ready to know? Are you ready to understand? Are you ready to hear? Are you ready to feel what I'm saying? Are you ready to get it, to comprehend it, and to be able to deal with it, and to be able to understand what I'm saying, and to understand the knowledge that
But
I have in my head about things that you can never know, and things that I can never evolve to you, tell you.
But also your format of your podcast is going to make the difference.
Becky,
If you do mostly lives, you're going to have to push harder to try to get that information out versus we don't mind sitting for 3 to 4 hours talking with people and then editing, certain sections out. So we can kind of pick and choose and kind of take a slower pace. If you're live, you got an hour and a half, maybe two, to try to get the information out of them respectfully. So I mean, and that's ask Justin and Tam. You're going to figure all that out. It's a work in progress on anything, but lives are definitely fun. But it is definitely a different animal of handling people coming in, comments, versus if you pre-record it and then you have time to make people look pretty, or we need a lot of work, so there's usually filters.
I totally agree. Moving on to number 5, guys. How do we balance creative vision with the pressure to produce good content to appeal to our audience?
I think it's authentic. I think you just have to stay authentic to it. I think that's the best way you're going to get the content.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think when we go out onto YouTube nowadays and we look at what these people, what certain people are producing, we have the ones that we really like, the ones that we don't like, and all that kind of stuff. The ones that I like, I try to take stuff from and go, you know what? Let me try to work this into something that my creative brain can work with. And so I can put out something out there that I will enjoy listening. And that's the one thing that I know that my co-host Jess, her and I sit there and say, we can't think about each other. We got to think of this as listening to something. How would I be as a viewer? Like, what would I want to see? And then I need to filter that through my creative brain. Like I'm a theater student. I do stand-up comedy. So it's like, I want to see how I can put all of this out there. And if people don't like it, oh, well, you're not paying my bills.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
100%.
Exactly.
No, I'm still going to do it.
Is not everyone's going to like what you do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No.
Tough shit.
No.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. That's what matters.
That's right.
Yep. Facts.
I mean, I think, and to me, I'm the type of person it's never about me. My podcast has never been about me. You can ask Big T, you can ask Cardell. When these guys on the camera show, I told them, hey, this podcast ain't about me, man. It's about you guys. And then my podcast will always be about my guest, never the host. The host ain't getting nothing out of this. You might get a couple follows and stuff like that, but it's all about my guests. It's all about getting my guests, out there and, getting these guys where they need to be, and get them to be more successful. And the best thing is to get their story out. And that's what it's all about for me. I mean, I've have not changed, and all the years I've been doing this. There's different podcasts that have different agendas. And I'm not one of them. Guys, okay, moving on. Are all topics on your podcast positive?
No. Unfortunately, I mean, I'd love to say they're all happy hauntings. No.
They go to the dark side too, don't they?
There's some. I mean, like, how do you talk about Gettysburg without? People.
It's a mixed bag of nuts, really.
Yeah. You can't have the light without the dark.
Well, and I find, like, even doing my podcast is that our niche, our really big niche right now is murder and haunting, right? So true crime and haunting mixed into it after the true crime has been committed. That seems to be the thing that works rather well, and the believer versus skeptic kind of debate. So that's kind of what we stuck to. And so there's a lot of darkness, like we did Amityville as one of our first episodes, and there are crime scene photos of what happens, and we ourselves, to go into that history, have to look at it and put forth our own speculations, as to what happened, and kind of put that out there and form that into a hypothesis and then a theory, and then so yeah, I definitely think that there's a lot of darkness. But as Irene was saying, there is a lighter side to a lot of things, and that's definitely what we try to bring. We definitely try to bring our brand of sense of humor, because we don't want people to be like super down listening to our podcast. That's not good.
Yeah.
But you got to have that kind of balance.
Yeah, that's
both
what, guys?
light and dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to have that balance. Guys, why come podcasters? There are a lot of them out there that do this, but it seems like most podcasters today are just focused on one source, one outlet to be able to get your, your podcast out to social media. There are so many different platforms, but yet there are so many podcasters out there that are just happy just to be with the basic. Now, if we're podcasters, I thought we were the ones that are always thinking outside the box. We're always the ones that are pushing the narrative. So why come as podcasters we don't push ourselves to reach out to different platforms to get our content out?
So I think, and this is just coming from me personally, obviously not everyone's going to agree. Most of us have normal full-time jobs, right? Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah.
When you're adding all those levels, social media, it can become overwhelming. And
trying to keep track. Like Facebook has all these requirements that you have to do per week, and when someone gets overwhelmed, they tend to go to one source and focus on it. Hyper focus, because like our Spotify podcast stuff, when you look at our favorite, like most downloaded, doesn't match our YouTube.
Yeah.
So how do you balance that out? Well, it's really hard. You go great. Like I'm sure all you guys have like put a lot of time and effort into a podcast. You put it out and you're like 20 views. Wow, that's nice. And then you're like, well, we got to do something fast. You throw it out there and you're like, why does I got 1.2K? Because I farted wrong, or I think people hyper focus on one social, because it's easier to maintain. Because once you start going across platforms, you start questioning your own sanity. Like, are we really good at this, or what's going on in Brussels, Germany, that keeps downloading our? I mean, we're in English, but they like it. So I think hyperfocus. Well, and also there's a lot of, we're kind of on a spectrum.
Do you find that different platforms have their own clique? Like, I know the ones on YouTube are really, they're kind of like, woo-hoo-hoo. And the one on TikTok, like, they say, okay, that person's a phony, that person's fake, blah, blah, blah. They're really up there to criticize, right?
And not only that, but they all have their own individual regulations. So, like, you can't say suicide on TikTok. You have to say unalived.
Yeah.
Trust me.
YouTube, you can't say God. You have to say pew pew.
Penises.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what it's all about is really the algorithm. Like I know for me, Jess, and Bree, we stick to our strengths. Like Bree, our moderator, she's really good at the social media aspect. So we have her kind of do the social media. Jess is an amazing editor. We use Riverside as well, and it really helps her. She hyper focuses on that. She's really good at it. And this is what I'm good at. Like I'm good at kind of the exposure aspect and talking to people and putting my face out there and kind of, talking about it. So this is how like we divide everything, is just focusing on what our strengths are, and then we just kind of we divide and conquer essentially, and we felt that that is what's been best for us, and that's really worked. And I think when it comes to like you guys were saying with the whole YouTube and the different aspects of it, yeah, no, I agree. I think because we do a lot of obviously we release our episodes on YouTube, but using if you guys are familiar with Riverside, they have a thing called Magic Clips, and we'll release shorts, a little, it's already been edited, and we'll add some stuff to it, and we'll release those on YouTube. And those shorts, because of people's attention spans nowadays, thanks to TikTok, those get hundreds of thousands of views. And but by doing that, it circulates your audience, and that's one thing that we discuss.
I have noticed, going back to the attention span thing, like I also use Opus clips sometimes when I'm in a hurry, and it used to be like a short was anything less than 3 minutes. Now,
20 seconds.
They want you to push anything under 20 or 30 seconds, and it's like that attention span's just gradually going down.
But I will say, like, using the shorts, at least for us, we have really gotten that chance to narrow down what are the more interesting aspects of what you're talking about. We had one that went super viral talking about the Ghost Boy photo of Amityville, and it when we sit there in the moment and talk about it, it feels like it's 2 hours long. But when we went back and looked at the clip, I think it was like 45 seconds to a minute. And I was like, wow. And that is what the attention span that people had time for at that moment. And it worked.
It's not only about the content. I've learned this over the past couple of months. Not just the content of the short. It's the tags, the title, and the description.
Yes.
Thumbnails. Your whatever you use for your short makes a big difference.
Something to grab the mind.
Like us, you
gotta make them pop. Yeah.
Well, I also refuse. I mean, like Jess is also a really good graphic designer, and we use a lot of Canva, because I refuse to put out something like that to make it pop. I think that it works for some people, but I don't always agree to the idea of looking ridiculous for clickbait. I just think it's stupid.
It just comes natural out of us, so we just.
I look ridiculous enough, so I don't need help.
Will you catch me looking like this? And all the time, but I don't necessarily need to broadcast it all the time. So, but I also feel that if we want ourselves to get the notoriety that I feel that we all deserve, because this is the reason why we're doing it. Like, we want the exposure, we want people to listen to us, because none of us went to school for this, I'm assuming, right? I didn't. Like, this was something that I just kind of learned. So there's no degree. I can't go out there and say, I have a master's in paranormal. So, we are all our own kind of teachers and students, and we want to put this out there in the best way that we know how. So unfortunately, sometimes I think we have to kind of stick to that algorithm of what YouTube wants us to do or TikTok wants us to do, because people are going to want to look at you before they eat you, digest you. The whole analogy.
Eat with your eyes first.
Yes, you eat with your eyes first. People are going to want to look at what they're going to be listening to, so they want to see stuff.
Hey, Terry, can I ask you a big favor of you?
Big T. Yes, sir.
I was going to say, could you send out in an email everybody's channel? That way we make sure we're liking and subscribing to everybody.
1,000.
My eyesight's getting bad and trying to find you guys. That's what I'm like. Is that because there's a lot of similarities? We're easy to find.
We'll definitely do that at the end of the show. We'll definitely do that. Big T, you've been kind of quiet over there, and I want you to answer this question for me. What's the most challenging part about being a podcaster?
Challenging part of being a podcaster? I would say the most. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, it's all you, bro.
Oh, is that what you asked? What's the most challenging part for being a podcaster.
Yeah.
So for
Yeah.
me,
Yes.
there hasn't really been a lot of challenging things. One is sometimes the guests saying they will come on and then don't, for whatever reason. It happens in life.
That is
so
true.
you
Yeah.
can't
That is
get
true.
upset.
Yeah.
But a lot of
Yeah.
times they'll just bail out, and now you're sitting there and you're like, okay, I got to figure out something to put out.
You're
Yeah.
telling the people in
The
the paranormal
replacement, right?
Reiki.
Because they don't
Yeah,
understand
and we
how hard it is to find somebody. Then you have to make the 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 post about it, right? And you have to, oh yeah, like, yeah, and you are gonna come on. Okay, don't.
The worst
They don't
is
realize what work it costs, how
Yeah.
much work involves to finding this person, to making the post so that you can put it out there, and then finding out. Well, sorry, we're not gonna come. Okay, yeah, you're
yeah,
done.
and especially
Bye.
if you're live, if you're gonna go live, it's like, okay, we got to wait till the last few days before the show to put something out saying, hey, we're gonna be live at this time. And most, I would say 98% of the time we've been good. you know, but there was a while there. It was like, oh, I want to be on your show. I want to be on your show. We're like, cool. Try to set up some dates, and then nothing. And it's
Yep.
like, okay, um, you find other stuff to
Yeah.
talk about. Like we started a movie thing now, which we got to drop, and then what was the other one? Oh, our local haunts. We just started, so we have backups if somebody decides to drop out, or if they just have to move the date.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Life happens. So now we're able to, like, okay, well, we can just drop this, talk about this, and be fine.
There's always a backup. You always got to have a backup.
Mhm.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like, and as for me and Irene, we got Nspstv Paranormal After Dark,
Mhm.
where you can come on the show and talk about the things that we can't talk about
Mhm.
between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m.
Yeah.
I want to make sure the kids are asleep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to make sure things, you got a voice. If there's something that you want to get off your chest, that's the podcast that you want to do it on.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? If you don't like the way that certain podcasters are saying things, if you don't like the way certain people are expressing themselves on a certain podcast, okay, well, you know what? If you got a voice and if you want to vent, here's the show for you to do that.
Yeah.
You want to cuss? You want to show your anger, your frustration? There's the show for you to do that. I have no problem with it because I know it's not directed towards me.
Yeah.
The only thing that I say is, I just want to make sure that we all have an understanding when you come on the show.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's only for an hour. It's only
Well,
for
we've
an
done
hour.
it for longer
And that
too,
is- Oh yeah, we've done it for longer. But it's just one of those things, when you want to adult content, then bring the adult content.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? So
I think there's a field for that. Well, two things for you there, Terry. One, there's a field for that, and the content, because I remember I was I worked for a haunted location here where I'm living currently, and I was one of the tour guides and one of the employees, and I had a girl who did some OnlyFans type material, and she actually wanted to do she wanted to host events in the nude or at least topless for her channel, and I was like, there's an audience for that somewhere. It's just not here. But
Yeah.
I think there's an audience for that. Why not? I mean, for all we know, the ghosts are nude as well. So that's okay. but as far as the question.
Well,
Go
hey,
ahead, Rich.
If you put it like that, some ghosts are going to be more jealous than others.
Yeah, and now he just created a visual for me every time I investigate. Now, thank you.
Well,
welcome.
I had a spirit.
Rich,
I
keep
had
your
a
shirt on.
that likes to sunbathe in the nude, and
Yeah.
I think I told Terry, and Terry goes, "Holy yeah."
There's science behind that though, because you'll definitely feel cold spots a lot sooner. I'm just saying, go only ghost fans. You got it.
I was in the pool.
And there are naked ghost stories. Go look up the story
Yeah,
of
right.
ghosts from New Orleans. Supposedly, you walk around naked.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I think when it comes to the question of like what we're learning, or the hardest thing about it is learning about yourself. That has been something that I've tended to do in this project, is learn more about myself. Like, I thought going into this, I'd be like, oh, I talk all the time, I do this. I've learned that I ramble. I've also learned that when I deep dive research in my brain, I have to make sure that every bit of research that I put work into is said, and that's just too much. So there are things that I'm learning to like self-edit with myself, and learning not to take all the air out of a room, not during this process. But so those are things that I find that I have to learn doing this podcast, because at the end of the day, it's not about me. It's just about knowledge, and it's sharing that with another human being who happens to be on the other side of what I believe. So it's introducing that conversation and inviting the people who are skeptics to our show to be like, hey, look, like, come on over. There are a lot of things that can be explained with the skepticism, and I love to learn about that.
I think the hardest thing for us is to actually start it.
Yeah.
Just wait till you get going.
Well, wait till it ends, right? On how to quit. Like when you're on a roll, you can't quit, and you have to go on and on and on, and it becomes like, okay, it's getting really interesting, right? Like, and you want to talk about more of it, right? And then all of a sudden you're into 2 and 3 hours of it, right? Because you can't quit.
And
we shoot for an hour, and we never stop in an hour. We're always like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I see that as good convo.
Always.
And if we're having fun, you're going to want to sit there and talk.
An hour and a half. I'm always an hour and a half to 2 hours. I mean, if the combo is
if you guys need somebody to come on, hit us up. Ask Justin and Tammy. We'll get you going. We'll help you out.
Just reach out.
We'll get you going, man. Hey, what is the one thing that you've always heard? If you build it, they will what?
They will come. They will come.
And I did find that when I started, we started just, we put content on YouTube, and that's just so I can save it and it's not on my damn computer. But Facebook, when we started putting it on Facebook, so many people started helping us out. They started they still do it. They put it out. Hey, support these teams or people. And then I've found shows, I found channels just by I see that, and I'm like, oh, cool. And especially if they're like, they got like 2 or 3 followers, it's like, help them out, and then I'll share that post. And then people have done it for us.
Push it,
because we weren't coming on to get followers. I was doing it because I wanted to do it, and it was fun.
Yeah.
And I call them friends. I don't call them followers. I call them friends because they support us, and we've got to talk to some of them. Gonna go meet some of them this summer.
Yes, we are.
And hopefully a lot of them. But it's you just got to get yourself out there first.
Yeah, it's all about like kind of respect.
Build from there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about like respect within the community.
So I'd like to add, like a friend of ours pointed it out, who has a podcast, Ghost Gossip podcast. one of the most difficult things that you're going to realize, you're going to get more support from somebody that you met on a social media app 30 days ago, sharing you out more than your direct friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's because your friends don't do podcasts unless they're doing a podcast. People don't understand how much work actually goes into to just put this together and put it out, the feedback that you get. So the community is great. Like I said, we're pro podcast because we know how hard it is. If you're doing it and you love it, definitely do it. Keep doing it. Most podcasts fail within the first year because they're talking about a subject that they just don't like. Don't worry about followers. They'll come. You build it. You enjoy what you're doing. Just go.
If you build it, they will come.
And that's also the other thing for like even just for like 573 Paranormal there, it's don't take other people's shit. And that is one thing that I, especially I only like when we first got our Facebook, I went out there and I put all of our stuff on all these free paranormal pages and all of that. And I was just, thank you for the ad. Thank you so much. Put it out there, put it out there, put it out there. And it was great. We got great feedback from people and I really appreciate that. But then there were other people to where it's like, I'm not going to mention names or anything like that, but I remember there was one person who had said, hey, I have a podcast. Do you want to be on it? And I was like, sure. And I sent them an email and then they were like, oh, well, that I never got it. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I sent another one and they're like, well, I never got that one. Here, what's your email? And I'll email you. And they never did. And I was like, I'm not going to support you if you're not going to support me. It's a give and take. We all have to remain respectful. And maybe they didn't like what I do. And that's okay. You don't have to like it, but you don't have to also lead me around either. Like, don't dangle a carrot in front of my face. So that's what I say. Like, stand up for yourself. Your material is wanted, and those who don't want it will see themselves out the door eventually.
Yes. Great advice.
Love it.
Exactly.
Because if it's going slow,
the minute
whatever, keep going because it goes in spikes. All of a sudden, it's like boom.
Oh yeah.
Where the hell did this come from? And then it slows down again. Whatever the algorithm is or what people are interested in, they tend to come back because they like your content.
Yeah.
Somebody out there, your content, whatever you're putting
and
out.
Don't let it. And Big T is right. And don't let it overwhelm you because sometimes you see yourself getting overwhelmed by the amount of people that you have coming on your podcast. Because I'm telling you guys, and Irene can confirm, for like 6 months straight, every weekend we had podcast. It was non-stop. I got so overwhelmed I had to take a break. I'm like, oh my God, dude, I have to slow things down and take a month off just to collect ourselves.
These paranormal teams like to get exposed.
I get exhausted because I see things on everyone's camera and I see whoever's got what with them and who's got who with them. So I become overwhelmed and I get exhausted. So sometimes I have to lay down because I can't handle it. And right now I'm seeing a lot of stuff that you can't see and I'm saying, and should I tell you or not, right?
No.
Well, like behind you, yeah, I can tell you something's behind you, and I can see it, and it's in that dark room behind you, and it's looking at me, and it's messing up with your mic, and it's messing up with everyone else's mic. And never mind, I won't go there. But I
you
go
talking
there.
about Joe? Joe, you got something behind you.
Doesn't surprise me.
Joe, be quiet. Joe, what's on your mind, man?
I agree with these guys.
Tell me what's on your mind, man.
All right. Well, it's like this, right? You guys are way more professional than I am at podcasting. I promise. I'm still at the learning stage of this kind of stuff, which is kind of confusing. Let's put it that way. And I wouldn't know how to stream on YouTube and Spotify, and usually I just do it on Facebook, right? So, and I love going on and talking to investigators that want to give me their story. That's why I talk to them. I don't care where they're from, and it also helps me because I'm an author too. I write for a magazine, so that's really good content also. So it's I'm trying to learn one thing, which I could sit there and write about whatever is going on, my experiences in the paranormal field, everything like that, other people's experiences and stuff like that. But when it comes to podcasting, I'm kind of like, I'm rough at it.
Hey, kudos to you on the author stuff, because trust me, I know.
Thank you.
That is hard.
It is hard. It's not easy. It's I'll write something out and it'll take me, my God, it'll take me at least two weeks or whatever. Oh, did I miss that? And then you got all this information, you put it in, and you're like, do I really need to put that in there? Stuff like that. It's the same. It's the same as I'd like to hear the stories from the people that want to come on the show and want to talk their paranormal experiences. Now, what you guys were saying earlier about pushing the point to people or whatever, I don't do that to investigators, but when I go do home investigations, that's when I push it as far as I can go to get information what's going on in that house and why it's going on in that house. I try to go as far as I can go. I want to know their mental history. I want to know everything. I want to know it all, because
are they doing drugs? Are they an alcoholic?
Right.
You got to ask hard questions.
Well, you also don't want to walk into a dangerous situation for yourself.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So you don't know if that person's been abused or what. I mean, when you walk into a house most of the time and it's a freaking wreck, there's something wrong every time. It doesn't matter. Any investigator can see that. If you can't see that as an investigator, you should not be an investigator. That's how I see it. I mean,
well, you also have to look at the state of the house and the location.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, mold there's things. That's another thing is that, like, working with a skeptic, I've learned a lot of things. Like mold can make you see things. Mold or it didn't happen. You've got to look at the awareness of the location as well to maybe bring up a broader topic of what's going on. Is it a mental thing? And is it the home thing? All that kind of stuff. And that's the environmental factors are very important in a paranormal investigation.
It's the same with high EMF too. You end up having a high EMF inside of a building or a house or something like that. That's what a K2 meter's for. That's what that's for. It's not to investigate with. I don't care how. I mean, the
side effects of high EMF is feeling paranoid, being watched, and something near you, which is the same thing as if there's actual ghosts. That's why they think they're the same.
Yeah, exactly.
So I want to go back to Colin, what you were talking about earlier with the mental health. Those environmental factors can play a huge role in that too. If someone's house is right under a cell phone tower, stuff like that, and seriously,
radio towers. Yeah, I mean, people don't realize like the wattage going on. But also, Joe, as you were talking about trying to figure out how to live stream and all that, build your network of podcasters. Whatever platform you decide to do, StreamYard, FM, OBS, get a group of people that have the same software and start chatting. If you guys, hopefully you'll get our email. We're easy to find on YouTube. You just reach out to us. We would be more than happy to help tell you pros that we like, cons. This is your community. You're now part of the podcast world. Reach out. People are going to, if they blow you off, they're not worth the time. Talk to people that are willing to talk to you. I mean, we're here to help everybody. Everybody hears. There's a reason why you guys all said yes, is because you want to be a part of something. That's the amazing part of doing podcasting. And like I said, it's going to be strangers that you met a few days ago on Facebook that are going to be praising you, how well you're doing, keep up the great work. And, and your best friend's going, what in the world are you doing?
We try that.
That's true. That's true.
Exactly.
All the time, man. All the time.
We got back this weekend today from helping our friends Drunken Cryptids do a Bigfoot investigation in Arkansas.
We're out in the woods in Arkansas.
Way too hot.
But so yeah, absolutely. Afterwards, find us if you got questions on stuff. If we don't know, we'll let you know. And that's because we got help by Cryptids of the Corn. Gave us a whole bunch of information on how to set up your streams, how to do some other things, some good value on stuff. And we have our own network of friends because you're absolutely right. They're not followers, they're friends. They're the people that are literally going to help you. They're going to be the ones that show up when you're at a Paracon, no one's talking to you, and then out of the blue somebody's going to walk up and you're like, oh, hey, and they're there for you. Yeah. And we love meeting people and talking to it. That's what we're here for. So like I said, and we all run into weird like microphone issues, Windows updates,
usually user error.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The amount of footage that we have lost because we forgot, like we muted our mics and we were recording for an hour and a half, or you don't pay attention that the sun sets behind you, so you're not looking at your screen, and all of a sudden you're like, it's three guys in the dark talking on a podcast. That looks really creepy.
Also, if you drink during your podcast, know your limits.
We used to film a whole bunch of episodes in a row. If you look at some of our older stuff, you can tell which episodes were later in the same day. It was like, okay, I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah, and I also say go to cons. I had the pleasure of working at the Anna Lorraine Warren Paracon for 2 years in a row, and I met so many amazing people who get the chance to talk to. Tony Spira sent me a friend request on Facebook, and I just everywhere. I was so freaking excited because he remembered me like that. That's huge. Like going out to these cons, meeting people in real life, and that is a huge experience, and that's just going to progress your knowledge further. Because I feel at the end of the day, knowledge is one of the most important things that we have as a tool. And to be able to progress that.
If you're an author, don't forget to check out your local Comic Cons, like the small ones.
Oh yeah.
We did one because it was a friend of ours bought his comics there, so we sold out of almost every book that we had. What's going on? Yeah, I was like, it's comics, and so think outside the box. If you write, go where there's writings. People, comics, because there's bleed over. We're all nerds of some sort, or D&D, whatever your fancy is.
Can you not tell?
Yeah.
And I was thinking about putting all my experiences and stuff like that because I write for Strange Knox magazine out there in Pennsylvania, and I was thinking about putting this all in a book.
Dude,
you know what I mean? All these experiences, and put this all in a book and publish a book for myself, if that's actually possible. But
so I did it. I did one on case files,
and we're going to be doing another one on the stuff that we've done recently. If you think about it, put it down. And if you haven't wrote, start figuring out. It's something else. So because as you become popular and we're seeing you when you get your 1 million views and all that, you can then put that out there. Hey, this is what I learned. Write down all the fun times you had on investigation sites. There's trail shirts. So
you miss 100% of the chances and opportunities that you don't take.
Love that.
Absolutely. That's why I do what I do. You know what I mean? It's like I love investigating the paranormal, right? I mean, I started off not knowing anything. Of course, I learned from the old people that taught me how to investigate. And when they taught me how to investigate, I learned my own tricks and ways to do things without embellishing or corrupting the evidence that I've gotten in the past, right? So as long as all those years that I've done that, and all the experiences I had, I was like, well, let me start a podcast up, which I have in the past, and I've talked to a lot of great groups, man. There's a lot of good people. And then when I got the opportunity to publish something in a magazine or something, I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? I mean, it came to that point to where I said, absolutely, man. So I think I've done 5 articles. I've done 5 articles for this magazine.
That's awesome.
And it's been awesome, man. I love it, and I'm trying to go as far as I can to get the word out how our field is and what we do, and try to do it positively instead of negatively. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's because you see a lot of stuff these days with I don't watch any of the TV shows. I don't care for the TV shows. Okay, I don't, and the YouTube shows. I don't watch the YouTube shows either. But I'll sit down and watch a podcast though.
Yeah.
I'll sit down and watch a podcast. Now the TV shows and the crap they put on YouTube or whatever to gain clicks and whatever, I don't watch that stuff. That stuff is trash. The only time I watch anything around that kind of deal is if I've never been to a place and I want to see where I'm going to at that time and see what rooms I can go to investigate. Not saying they're getting really good stuff, because I'm sure they're not. So just like the Demon House, the Monroe House out there in Indiana, I watched
a lot of controversy with that one.
Right,
Oh,
right.
yeah.
So I watched like 3 videos on YouTube on the Monroe House. Terrible videos, but I seen the layout of the house. I know what to expect when I walk in there. But do I know how active it is? No, of course not. But because I can't trust these clickbaiting people on YouTube. You can't trust them.
Because each site's totally unique. So certain sites will love like a dead bell. Other sites like REM pods. Other sites like twist flashlights, the old style that are harder to find.
Mag lights.
Yeah, the old mag lights. We have a couple. We have a site, Sleeper Mortuary. They friggin' love a twist flashlight, like on and off, like the old Ghost Hunter. I'm like, that they don't mess with the K2 as much. If they don't like it. REM pods, if they're like stuffed animals, friggin' love them. A regular REM pod, and it's no different. I mean, if truly ghosts are people that passed on, everybody has their own attitude. We're all
preference.
How often does it get investigated?
I mean, I guess I'm old school. I guess I'm old school.
There's nothing wrong with old school. I also think it tends to think outside of the box in the sense that, for example, there's a great place in Virginia called the Cabin on 360. Love that place. They're amazing. And there was a little girl, 11-year-old girl named Melissa, who was murdered there, and her presence is still very much felt. So it was 1979, I believe, something along those lines, and I could be wrong. Dennis might email me. But I remember when I was first going there, I sat there and went, okay, I know there is an 11-year-old girl, and I started asking my friends when they were 11 in this time era, what did you have? So we played music from the 70s. I have a friend who makes things like we got Hungry Hippo. It was one of the most popular toys of that time frame, and we played it in her room. So I was like, in order to be, with paranormal investigating, like if you're going to a hospital or anything like that, I've had people who have dressed in costume to try to be a trigger object for themselves. I think those ideas are super, super awesome because right now we can only rely on either old school technology. Don't get me wrong. Like I have K2s. I love the Maglite flashlights. I want an SLL so bad I'm ready to sell pieces of myself for one. Everything is so expensive. In the world.
The thing with the SLS camera or the XLS camera now, we have one also. We actually have 2 of them, right? I got mine for free from Gotcha. I got mine for free from GotchaGhost.com. Like I don't know how long ago they sent it to me. For some odd damn reason, but they sent it to me. And the thing about the XLS and the SLS, you actually have to, the way to debunk it is you actually have to go up there and communicate with what is there. Because you just can't see a figure and actually say, look, there's somebody standing there. You can't do that because you're not sure if it's mapping a chair or a window or a plant. You actually have to go up there and say, hey, can you hold my hand? If it reaches out and touches your hand, that's pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
But if it just stands there and does absolutely nothing, man, just move on. It's just not worth it.
Also, as you do this podcasting and you get into this, investigations for us kind of go into three realms. You have your personal experience investigations. That's where you're going out, usually old school. You're just EVP, maybe your phone, no IR. Then you get into podcasting. It's entertainment. That's where the cat balls. You're trying to get some film footage. You're trying to get some evidence, because you don't want to just be looking like a weird guy in a dark room talking to yourself. So you do Estes and all that. Third, which is the hardest, is the scientific method of trying to prove ghosts exist. And we sometimes will bleed over to that side. Sometimes it's just nice to sit in a dark room and not have anybody talk to you. But don't keep that in mind when you're going out there. Figure out what type of investigation you're getting ready to go do, because that's going to dictate what type of equipment you're going to take. Is it a public event you're hosting people, or is it a private event, or is it, so as you're talking about, you got to know all those different ways, because if it's for the podcast, you want to film it. And it's very hard to film yourself when you're trying to mess with something. And then your partner also may not also know to film you as well.
That's where the EVP sessions come in, right? You could go into a room by yourself and you sit there and ask questions. It doesn't matter if you're, who cares? I'm sitting in a room by myself talking in the dark. I don't care.
Yeah.
So when you come out and you play it over Audacity and you listen to what you got over that time period that you were in that room, and you have to film it every time.
Yes.
You have to film it, or people are going to be like, you're lying.
100%.
You film it, and then you go and play it back, and you got somebody talking back at you. People look at you like, what? You're in there by yourself. Yeah, I know.
The other thing,
film everything.
Yeah.
Except
and that's the thing, is that's one of the key moments, is that, like, I myself have a Park and Bark, which is just a camera that I literally park somewhere and I leave it recording for anywhere I go. I don't touch it for the rest of the night. And I've gotten more stuff on a Park and Bark just by not being in the room. That I was shocked. Now, it's boring. I will tell you right now, going back and watching the footage is probably one of the most boring things in the entire world. And also and when you go back and do EVPs, I always suggest doing EVP by yourself, because if I capture one more recording of someone farting or burping or, like, cracking their neck because you haven't gotten anything in 10 minutes, it's always easier to do it by yourself, because then you can just X everything else out of the room, and it's a little bit easier that way. That's
why when we do public investigations, you stick one of those people that are like, well, I don't know about this. Well, go in this room right here with this recorder. I'll turn it on. I'll leave. And once they'll be in there for about 15, 20 minutes. I come out and we'll replay it over Audacity. Because wait, there was nobody in the room with me. It's like, I know.
You also have to remember too, when you're doing paranormal investigations and you do set voice recorders and cameras, whether they're stationary.
Yeah.
Make sure you know that you're always being recorded.
And double check. So we put our cameras out. We have 8-camera POV system, IR. So power over Ethernet cabled, because wireless we've always had problems. Some leggings in IR are see-through, and you don't realize how you automatically walk right in front of the camera and then stop. So we got like hours of just butt shots of people.
I know what I'm wearing on my next adventure.
What is it? If you're wearing black leggings, is that what it is? The black leggings make it look like like they're not wearing any pants. Absolutely.
No pants.
IR check real quick to make sure what you're wearing is appropriate, because usually you don't.
True.
You don't realize, and then you forget you're filming. So sometimes you may have to fart. You might,
Oh yeah.
Or a wedgie.
And if you can capture that with a thermal cam, I highly suggest doing that. And then posting it. That's also the best part. Post it. And that's the other thing.
Now I know what to do with my.
When you want to put this stuff out, when you want to put this stuff out in the world, I always say, you know, bring a sense of humor, because I think what we miss on television or watching stuff on YouTube is that people edit things so it doesn't look like it took 45 minutes in between something not happening. And that's understandable. But I think what people end up doing is that they sometimes kind of miss the humor behind it all. Because we've all had those 3 a.m. giggles where you're so tired, everything is absolutely hysterical. I think it's okay to broadcast your mistakes. I think it's okay to let people know that you were human as well, and to say, hey, you know, this is something funny that had happened. I'm constantly debunking myself as well. I went on, I toured a hospital one time, and there was one moment I was recording that I came out the headquarters door. And I was convinced that I closed it. And then when we went back up later on camera, my partner who was with me, he was like, it's open. Who opened it? And I was like, I closed it. And I literally went back on film and saw myself not close it. And I posted that. I said, nope, here I am debunking myself, because I definitely did not close it. But I swore up and down that I did for 10 minutes.
Well, that's good.
And that's okay.
At least you're not lying about your evidence. I mean, that's the biggest part of it, right? I mean, you know.
And there's sometimes you may have to say it may be paranormal, it may not be. This is just put the evidence out. But as you're talking about EVPs, for whatever weird reason, like we get more audible than EVPs. Like somebody, they may not be able to hear exactly what they said, but you kind of mark it and go back and listen to the recording. It's like the more I do this, the more actual audible stuff is being captured than EVPs. Because I always thought that was everybody's doing EVPs. That's what they're getting. For us, like we've gotten whistles, we've gotten talking. I'm like, oh, and also you don't have to be at night. We've had tons of not having the camera on yet. That's when something happens. You're like, oh, really?
Yeah, some of the best evidence
during the day. Yeah. So
I feel lonely. I feel lonely because I don't use equipment and I hate equipment, and some of the spirits here hates equipment. So I've been to places when Terry has been with me, and they told me to put that away because I don't like it. So I have to go blind, and I have to do it by myself. And Terry said, "Why don't you use that?" No, because they don't like it. They told me they don't like it, and they told me to put it away, or else I'm not going to talk to you. I said, "Okay."
And sometimes they just don't like the person.
Yeah.
Well,
I also
don't like
say,
the equipment.
I can definitely.
I also say that our bodies are our biggest tools. Those, you know, you have to listen to your body to what it's saying, because our bodies are going to react to things, electromagnetic frequencies. Our bodies react to it. You know, we get goosebumps or our hair stand up on the end, and you know, that's coming from somewhere. If there are no telephone wires or things broadcasting the EMF, that's coming from somewhere. The only issue with it, you know, is that it is hard to convey on camera what you are specifically feeling. Because no one else is feeling it but you. And so you got to sit there and ask yourself, is that something other people want to see? If I'm going to put this out there, you know, are people, when it comes to the world of podcasting or even putting things out there on YouTube, I would rather be 9 people's favorite thing than 100 people's 9th favorite thing. You know, like that's.
I've always had this. I've always had this thing, like, you know, my partner, he could go into a bedroom.
I'm the vessel.
Ask questions, and he said he'll come back, and I said, "What'd you get?" And he said, "I didn't get anything." So I go into the same room with him. I'm pulling out a name, the reason why they're there, and why they're there. And I'm like, how is that possible? I'm wondering if it has something to do with our voice tone or the way we ask the questions.
Your energy also.
Energy.
Definitely the energy you give off as a person is a big factor of how you're interacting with.
Right. Yeah.
It can also deal with.
And if you got any stuff, if you got any stuff
Joe, you
that's
so
in your
handsome.
head, it's gonna stop
They
it.
automatically go to you.
What was that, Terry?
Joe is so handsome. They're going to do him anyway. You're such a handsome guy. They're gonna flock to you.
Thanks. You and my wife is the only one that thinks that. I appreciate it.
I mean, hey, that's pretty good right there when you think.
I mean, I guess. I mean,
I would think so.
I don't think
What
that's the
is
reason why they talk to me, but
Joe, I think you're going to look great on the back of your book and the author and all your stories. People see that and the whole Chronicle series that you've done. So let us know when you get it out.
that's down the road. Yeah, that's down the road. I'm still writing for the magazine and still learning. So that's what I do,
Right.
man. It's
Hey guys, hey, to all of this, and what's the end game to all this?
Disclosure.
Somebody, what is the end game to all this?
I don't think there is
As
one.
much as we, but check it out. I mean, as much as we present evidence, as much as we, have podcasts like this, I mean, much as we show people what we, tell people what we saw, is that enough?
No.
No.
I think the thing is, it's different for the end game's different for every person in this world.
Yeah, I think it is different for everybody.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But who are we trying to prove? What are we trying
Not
to prove?
anybody
Who
else.
are we trying to prove it to?
I'm not trying to prove it to anybody.
I would think ourselves, really.
Aren't we trying to prove to those that has more say in this?
I think
there's people out there.
Some folks may, but like I'm not trying to prove nothing to nobody. This is what happened. This is what I felt.
Yeah.
I'm putting it out there for you to like or not like.
Exactly.
I think getting
that's up to you. That's up to
Yeah.
you to like or not like. I'm out here because I'm here to help the spirit either move on or find their answer what they want. You see, I'm an open vessel, okay? Whatever they say, they can come to me and they can talk to me, and I will help them as much as I could so they can move on, or find a solution to what they need, so they can move on. That's what my goal is, and I'm not just a paranormal investigator. I'm helping them so they can achieve what they need to achieve, so they can find peace somehow.
Yeah,
I think there are many different facets to all of it. I think the idea of saying that, we're not putting this out there because we're trying to make people, believe me or like me or whatever. That, to me, that's kind of like saying, I don't care what people think, but I still wake up in the morning and put clothes on, right? I obviously care something of what people think because I'm choosing to not go outside naked. I think there is an idea that we are all trying to make people in a sense believe because we are believing that, and I think it's an enthusiasm necessarily. And then I also think that, to Irene's point, that I think everyone has a story that needs to be told, and we are all authors. We're all storytellers. And we all want their the victim story or in history, we want these stories to kind of be told and to further down the line for people past us. Like, I know that's something that in my podcast we focus on. We focus on the people and their stories and these alleged hauntings that are there. We want those heard. We want people to know that story. It shouldn't die with them because they die. Yeah,
we want people aware of what we do and what's going on in other fields. I didn't do this to make $1 million. I did this because I wanted to figure out what's going on the other side. And then once I did, I got hooked. I got hooked really bad. Luckily, I stayed with it, and I've investigated over 100 places. I don't know how many. My wife said over 100. It could be more.
Wow.
But the more and more I did that, the more investigations that I've done, it's gotten so much. I loved it because I don't look at the other part of it where there's so much drama with other teams and crap like that. I don't do that. I investigate with people who wants to investigate.
Yeah.
Oh, and just since you're starting out doing podcasting, when you talk about paranormal, don't be surprised if you have paranormal stuff start happening.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Brand new. I was in a brand new hotel. Got the world around me talking on another podcast. So that's something. But I'm hoping for a legacy to help keep our haunted locations open, get people aware of them, and then also I think it'd be cool that my great grandson or granddaughter looks and goes, that's where I came from. That's where I because this is going to be around for a long time.
I think maybe hopefully eventually, this world, paranormal will be the norm. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And they can go back and look and go, man, they were idiots. They didn't know they could just have to do that.
That's what they say about me now.
Thank you so much for all the information. It's been very good. We're definitely gonna be reaching out.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing I have is like, is the future investigators going to do it the right way?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some right ways and wrong. Don't go in pissing everybody off.
Excuse me.
But I'm still trying to figure out our end game is to put enough evidence so where we will be recognized as a true science. That is our end game. That is what everybody on this podcast is hoping to achieve. Am I right or am I wrong?
I'm going to disagree.
Right now, we are not considered true science.
Well, the reason why I'm going to disagree with that, we're entertainment. We're putting out a story, whether they like it or not. Now, if your end game is to prove paranormal, we can hook you up with some paranormal investigation groups that are doing scientific method to absolutely prove that this exists. I just spent the night in the woods of Ozark.
Okay. But don't we all do that at some point? I mean, don't we all do that? Well, every paranormal investigator does that.
So here's part of the problem, though. With AI coming out, all our evidence is going to get scrutinized worse and worse. Everything's going to be assumed fake. Yep. So unless you're doing a scientific method now, meaning that you have time, date stamps, what the spike of EMF was, how many Newton forces did it take to move the cat ball? It's unfortunately it's lights and show. We're giving people the opportunity to believe. Step into that haunted house and have that experience or get touched themselves. Does that really go, oh, I believe? Because you can talk to somebody blue in your face. You can show them all the videos. They may be more open, but they're not going to be a believer until they physically experience it.
And I guarantee you, there's millions of people that want to be a freaking ghost hunter. They want to be a ghost hunter.
Oh yeah,
they see it on TV and they think that's how it is. That's not how it is.
And it's all fun and games till you get touched.
That's not.
That's
not what we are.
Touch your screen.
Or get arrested. One of the two.
But that's not what we are. We don't do that. That word irritates the hell out of me so bad because, and I blame Hollywood for this, but that's not what the freaking we do. We are not ghost hunters.
I
can either see myself two things. I'm a paranormal investigator, or I'm a parapsychologist. I'm not a ghost hunter because that's not what we do. I would never ever see myself as that.
Wasn't there a show that they a while back were actually trying to like scoop ghosts up into cages? And I was
yeah. I forget what that's called. It's down there in Tennessee. Yeah, it was such.
The Wraith Chasers. Yeah, they had a ghost. But yeah, it was the Tennessee Wraith Chasers. Yeah. I think Terry, when you talk about the end game and stuff, I mean, right now we're helping to progress the evolution of paranormal research and exploration. Paranormal research has to evolve. It wouldn't evolve if it wasn't for us doing what we're doing. But I also think that we have to look at hopefully what other people will do for us. We have to look back at our forefathers. Like when you talk about the scientific side of it, look at William Roll. He has used tons of scientific exploration to really get into the idea of what everything was when it came to paranormal. And he used a lot of scientific research and a lot of scientific method. And it's fascinating to watch what William Roll helped with where we are today in the terms of scientific research. I think you have to have both. I think you need to have that type of mindset, the equipment, because it is that idea of that ghost with the energy. Are they not just science, right? Or is it, because that's what a lot of people believe, that we are energy. We exude that when we pass. That's the reason why we have a residual haunting versus an intelligent haunting, right? Like a residual is just an echo. It's something that has just rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls. And that's because the energy is still there. We can measure that.
You shouldn't have brought that up, because I am totally disagree with you on that. I totally disagree with residual energy, and I'm going to explain to you that in a minute. Okay, now getting back to, because I think the end game is always having someone to represent us at the scientific table. I want the scientific community to accept for what we are and what we're doing. Until we come with that definitive evidence that, hey, that this is going on, it is really happening, they would never accept us. But there's one person out there that everybody seems to forget about, that actually proved that it's life on the other side. And you know what they did to him? They blackballed him. They took everything away from him. And we don't know where his technology is today. And that's Nikola Tesla. He's the one that set this whole damn thing off. He's the one that had proof that, hey, there is something going on the other side. Life. Energy doesn't die. We all know that. He was able to prove that, guys, it's life on the other. There is life past that veil. But once they discover how truthfully it is, they shut the shit down. They shut it down. They're like, oh no. Can you imagine how the world would be if people found out there is life past the veil? There is life that is going on. Can you imagine what the religion aspect of it? Can you imagine how kids today will, oh man, my life is not good here. Let me try it out on the other side.
But I mean, we're also we're that gateway. We're the gateway to the paranormal to make it scientific. We're the people that are just making it okay to talk about it, right? 20 years ago, before ghost hunters, no one was talking about it on TV. Oh, they had ghost stories and everybody kind of, you got scared. Now people are actually going, well, I don't think cat ball is really a good toy to be using for paranormal, or I prefer a K2. Everybody knows what a K2 meter is now due to video games and people like that. So it's those baby steps of getting people aware of what they are. Everybody knows what EMF is, electromagnetic field. But how they work and what they do, not everybody knows unless you're an electrician or a mad scientist.
Yeah.
But
I'm just sorry.
So I mean,
getting to
the game.
To me, I think that should be our ultimate end game, to pull up at the seat at that big long table and being recognized for what we do, all the hard work, all the dedication, all the support that we put into this. That should be our end game, to be able to do that.
I don't think that's ever going to happen.
And then after that point, we continue doing what we're doing. But knowing that someone is there representing us, that is the ultimate, man. It can't get no better than that. We're being recognized. We're being accepted. Religions the Catholic Church cannot say anything about us now, because now we are actually there where we need to be.
were at least being talked about. And
I mean, we had that person like a long time ago, Hans Holzer. Hans Holzer used to go out there and he used to advocate for the paranormal. He did that for since the 50s? It might have been earlier. But he would have a medium lay on a couch with a microphone and record it and had her tap into what was going on in the house, and people actually believe that, which I'm not saying it's not believable because I wasn't there and I wasn't born yet, but but he caught images and he would show people what he caught on camera, just on a regular old dusty old camera that we don't even use anymore. He caught all this on film and he presented this to the public for everybody to see. He is one of the reasons why I started doing this. Hans Holzer is.
But see, with that end game though, you're always going to have the opposite of what we have, because like we have people right now who are, obviously we're diehard believers in this, but then we also have these people who have unfortunately taken the paranormal and made a mockery of it, and that's gone back centuries. You had the sisters who were hosting Ouija board parties at their house and knocking on stuff under the table. You had people faking it. You've had Disney going into locations and making haunts and not telling people it's a haunt. They're saying it's paranormal activity. So you've got people out there who are faking things that people in the world today go, well, look, if this was faked at one point or another, how can I believe that now it's haunted? How can I believe that? And there's no breaking that. The trust has been broken when it comes to that.
I understand that. I understand that, but we still have to break that barrier. That barrier needs to be broken. No. And I can honestly say that Bigfoot skeptics were the same way. When that video came out in 1963 or 62, when Bigfoot was walking across that riverbed, people thought that was a hoax. But that was the starting point for Bigfoot hunters.
That's the only clear image I've ever seen of Bigfoot.
In this day and age, huh?
I said that's the only clear image I've seen of Bigfoot.
The problem is with AI and it's going
to that's a problem,
because we now there's other images of something like that, but it's problem is as our technology gets better, unfortunately, then we start doubting more. I mean, there's people that they were doing stamped footprints. There have always been hoaxers, Loch Ness, and it goes across all the paranormal, from UFOs to cryptids. We have to fight that, and all you can do is be honest. Debunking yourself is one of the best things to do. Is to say, hey, you know what? I thought this was this. This is what it is, or maybe it's not 100% debunked, but you're like, hey, this could be 50-50 one way or another. Be honest with the audience. That's where that trust starts coming in. If you make a mistake, say it. I mean, it sounds simple, but we want to be able to take where we're at. And I don't think it's going to be in the next 10 years. Maybe the next 30 years, we will have that seat at the table. I mean, it won't be us. It will be the people we inspired to sit down at that table with the technology, with here's the hard data. This is what we're seeing. And it gets moved on. That
is our end. And that is our end game. That is the purpose for me to get to get accepted for what we do. People like us put a lot of hard work and dedication into this. And to say that no one out there, true enough, everybody's a skeptic. I totally respect that. But there's some undeniably evidence out there that people will be like, this is something here. And to have that thrown to the wayside and say, hey, that's we can accept that. Okay, well, why come you can't accept that? Give me your reason why.
I say, Terry, I mean, look
and
at
there's
what
always some.
you got 11 people on here talking about paranormal experiences and podcasts. You made this happen.
Yeah.
You're the driving force. So keep that up.
Yeah.
But-
And that's a platform, right? That's a
Yeah.
table that we all have the pleasure of seating at. And then I also think that we wouldn't have all of these cons, all of these investigations happening worldwide without this type of platform and what we do. And then it's also, but there's always going to be controversy no matter where we go, because I mean, honestly, it's like, it's that idea of there is, when people talk about you, it could be bad or good, but at least they're talking about you. You know, it's kind of, we look at the Warrens, you know, we all want to sit there and believe that a lot of what they went through was true. But then we look at the idea of the money making aspects and the things that they were willing to bend to make a little extra buck. And I love the Warrens, you know, I've met their daughter numerous times. She's lovely. But I also look at facts. That's the one thing that I think some people kind of set aside a little bit, is that they you know, kind of bend that rule and set the facts aside, and because they believe in something else so hard. But us doing this right here, what we're doing, and having an open discussion about it, is our seat at the table.
But I mean, like him or hate him, Zach Baggins broke out.
Oh yeah,
he's got a museum. Yeah. He's made this more mainstream. You know, whether it be good or bad publicity, it is publicity.
Yes.
As long as people are talking about the paranormal, they will realize what's BS and well, not you. They'll know where to start looking. Because like what I love about what we're doing is we can all pick one location. Say we all did an episode on the Cecil Hotel. We're going to have 6 individual episodes, because we don't think the same. We're going to convey the story differently, but it gets people to look at it. And that's the main goal, is to get people to listen and go, oh, maybe I need to go check out another episode on that. And then next thing you know, they're there looking at the building, or they're signing a petition to keep the building so it doesn't get torn down because they watched one of our episodes. So, I mean,
and there's always people who are going to do something a little on the controversial end to, like we said before, like to try to get those views. I mean, even for research, I watch a Zach Baggins episode of the Cecil, and I'm not a huge fan, love him or hate him, like you said, of how he performs things. Now, Zach, if you're looking, you can slide in my DMs, but you know, I don't have to agree with what he does. I still watched it. You know, I still sat there and just ate that up and went, okay, let me pull out some stuff from this, what I like and all that, and use that for my research. So it's like, I don't have to agree with what you're doing.
Now, you just don't know.
Come on, Jackie. Invite me to Las Vegas. But I think there are things that we're all going to do that we might not necessarily agree with, but we're still going to watch it. We're still going to learn from it. That's it. Learning is our own thing here. You know, you take what you can get.
I will say this about Zach and the Ghost Adventures. I don't know if they still do it, because I have not watched them in I don't know how long.
They still do.
But what I did like about them at the beginning is the first 20, 30 minutes of the show was history.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was history. Now, stuff has come out about certain episodes where history may have been twisted. I'm not saying I'm not saying it was done on purpose or whatever. I don't watch them like that, but when I did that, I really like that part of it.
Yes,
it's like, oh, I'm learning about this place. I want to go to this place, and then the rest of it, I was like, okay, I'm next. But that's just me. That's just my opinion. But I did like that about them.
I think the last Ghost Adventures I watched was when they were at Franklin Castle in Cleveland, right? I investigated Franklin Castle. They called me up and said, hey, you want to investigate Franklin Castle? I said, are you kidding me? I said, for how long? They said 10 hours. I was like, what? I said, absolutely. So I went up there. And the minute I opened the door up, I said, we're not investigating by ourselves tonight. Because there was just so much bad shit there that it was insane. And not too long after that, Zach Baggins and his crew came and did. I was like, I have to watch this episode. Some of the stuff that happened on the show actually happened to us in that night. But there was a lot of stuff where I was like, come on, man. And the storytelling, the history that he put out, or they put out, or whoever put it out, was so untrue. It was garbage. I was like, where did they get this from? Because the caretaker, he lived in a house 6 months out of the year. He knew. He even wrote a book about Franklin Castle. And he told me, he's like, I was so good.
Can't trust Wikipedia anymore.
Obviously, they didn't get
Zachy came here and he tried to reach out to us, and he wanted to know he wanted to know the history of some certain places, and we don't have history of certain places. You can't. There's the only way you can get history is from listening to the old people who are 80 or 90 years old, who knows what happened back then. But we don't have vital records. We don't have history. We don't have anything, plans in microfiche or whatever you call it, or in the computer. It doesn't exist here. But he did come here. He made a fool out of himself, and he went home.
Yeah.
And,
Sounds about right.
And,
Sounds about right, yeah.
And see, paranormal is not very
100.
Paranormal is not okay. It's not an in thing in Japan. Okay, even though we deal with a lot of paranormal stuff, it's not the in thing to be a part of here. Okay, it's like my fridge just beeping. But paranormal is not the in thing here. It's only in thing with certain people, but not with everybody, right? So, everyone says, well, I'm Zach Bagans, and everyone says, so who cares, right, in this country? Because they don't really give a hoot about who he is. And so he went home with his head between his legs and his tail between his legs and whatever you could make of it, right? And he was discouraged. But, I mean, would I help him? No. Would I show him some places? No. Like, no. I will show you. I will take you. I will take you there.
When I worked with Brian J. Cano. I worked with him for like 2 summers at the Poasttown Elementary School down here in Middletown, Ohio. And he came out all like like he was better than everybody else, and I'm just like, I'm not even worried about you. I'm good. I just did my own shit. Then the next time that we seen each other again, he was giving me hugs.
Yeah,
because he knew I didn't care. I don't care about those people.
Oh, you're such a wonderful guy.
But you see, he wanted us. He wanted me to take him places, or whomever, because I live in Tokyo. But there's a lot of stuff around here, and he wanted me or whatever to take him there, and I just. No, I'll take you guys there, but I won't take him. It's just, I have a preference, okay?
He's a terrible person.
Thank you. I'm ready to go. Right. Guys, before we get out of here, man, we're going on 2 hours and 32 minutes. Mr. Collins, me and you're going to have a little talk because you brought this up, and I totally disagree with what you said. And those of you that have been on my podcast, Big T, Cordell, Joe, Irene, and I feel really strongly about this. So you mentioned residual energy. Residual energy is something you say that goes over and over and over and over again, and it just keeps repeating itself.
I see forks and plates.
Have anybody ever asked residual energy?
Snack time.
Have anybody ever asked residual energy, what can I do for you? I don't think anybody's ever asked residual energy, what can I do for you? If you never ask, you will never know what you can do for them. So they're going to keep doing it over and over and over.
Residual energy, they don't know that you're there.
Remind me of a child.
It doesn't really think though, right?
How do you know?
It just
you would never know.
Yeah, but also residual energy, like you don't necessarily know that it's happening.
Exactly. They don't even know you're there.
So, okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But can I finish? But let me finish. Residual energy, like I said, remind me of a child. A child is going to say something over and over and over and over again, correct? We've all done it.
Oh yeah.
Am I right? Over and over again.
Always.
Until you what? Until
the
you
child
respond
knows
to it.
doing that though.
The
child knows that they're doing that though.
So,
Residual. I can fart
is
and leave
residual
energy.
Residual
People come in and
energy
interact with it. No,
it's only if you don't respond to it. If you respond to it, if not, it's just going to repeat itself over and over again. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at residual energy. And I don't know anybody that's actually say, hey, why are you doing that? Can there something out here that I can help you with?
Well, I don't think it's that though. I think it's not. But when you talk about residual energy, it's something that is left behind, something that is not intelligent, something that is literally left on play that people forgot about. It is repeating. As we know of time throughout history, time is not linear, right? It stretches out infinitely. It goes to different things.
But do we know that for fact? Do we know that?
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely know that time is not linear. Like we know that history repeats itself. You know, whether it's throughout time, throughout history itself, we know that it's constantly repeating itself. And I think that there are echoes out there where we have left an imprint of something there. I mean, like once again, we go back to Gettysburg and you look at the idea of this battle that was fought for Lord knows how long out there. And that energy is still there. It's still repeating itself because it was just left on loop and there's nothing anyone can do about it.
Right.
And
Like when they see the army walking across the woods there. You see light figures walking across like a formation of like army men or whatever. That's all residual. Every bit of it.
But also, here's the other thing about residual is that we and the cannon fire, because sound is residual.
I would say, hey guys, it's time for you to go.
but that's the thing though is that
you have cannon.
I mean,
you have cannon fire, right? That's residual.
That's residual.
You can't talk to the cannonball.
But also like we talk about this on when our newest episode drops here April 1st. Like we talk about this on our other topic is that when you are in a location that is surrounded by metal and you have high EMF stuff because of the poles outside, all of that, because we have an axis that we rotate on, some of that energy is trapped there. It is always going to be a repeat of what was left there, of something that was high frequency, whether it was death, whether it was a fart, whether it was a cannon fodder, like whatever it was, that left its impact there. Now, you or I cannot say what is going to leave an impact upon something that's going to repeat. You know, a lot of people state that has to deal with emotions or high, beings or little things like that. But yeah, residual is just something that's left its impact. I mean, it's like a star on the Walk of Fame. You know, it's always going to be there.
And
or something that tragic happened. Something that tragic happened, like a gunshot wound, like a gunshot going off. That somebody's dying, like it happened in the Amityville Horror, right? At 3 o'clock in the morning, right? That's also residual, right? So something tragic can be residual too. So even though if you ask, how can I help you? It's still going to go off no matter what.
Yeah,
but like perfume smells on stairways, cigar smoke, pipe smoke. A lot of that's considered residual. It gets stored in wood.
Smell of coffee.
Yeah, and at the right temperature, right humidity, right time of day, the building can release it. That's one part of residual.
Well, wait a minute. So how do you know that? Wait, how do you know that's residual? That could be in live time for them.
You're absolutely right.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
See, I actually, but on that though. But I disagree with you on that being residual when it comes to perfume smells or the smell of coffee, because that's our senses. That is a sense. That's not necessarily something that was a high moment that left an impact on something. I don't necessarily. I think that is actually, when it comes to the human body and the way that it interprets things, especially with smells and sounds, I think that is whether the spirit is physically there or, as we discussed, sometimes it's the location. I don't necessarily think that smells are, in my opinion, necessarily residual.
No, I mean,
because
if it's always in one spot at one certain time of the day, you'd leave that to be residual versus if it was intelligent, it may follow you.
Well,
but like piano's playing.
How would you explain? So, say you're in the middle of the woods, right? Investigating a place that someone had been murdered or something like that. You heard claims from, and it was a woman, and you smell a perfume. Mm-hmm. No one else is in the woods. You're 10 miles away from civilization. Would you consider that residual?
Depends on if you get a response from it. Right?
But how? I mean, I guess it takes, because if I go into that situation knowing that a woman died there and I smell perfume, I immediately think that it's a woman's perfume. But I also know that men wear perfume as well. There's gosh knows there's been plenty of times when I've gone and throw on a perfume instead of a cologne. But that's like saying in 30 years or 40 years or 50 years, that whenever I die, that my bathroom is going to smell like Axe body spray for the rest of eternity. Because
you can only
residual. What it's gonna smell like.
Here, I got one. I think I got one for you. I used to live in a house with my wife, and it was very haunted. Her dad had actually enjoyed hazelnut coffee 6 o'clock every morning on the dot. Now the kicker is, we moved to the house in 2022. Her dad died in 2019. Every morning at 6 a.m., you'd smell hazelnut coffee in the bedroom, right across.
Sense memory.
House.
So she knew that he had his coffee. She knew what his favorite coffee was, and she knew that he had that roughly every morning at 6 a.m. So it's a sense memory. It's something that her body is physically remembering. And it's also an emotional memory as well, right? Like it's something that reminds her of her father. Now, I think if it was 6 a.m. and it was a different, maybe not hazelnut, if it was something else, then that is something going, okay, well, what could that be? But because it's that particular brand and that time in the morning, she automatically associates that with her father. So it's a sense memory.
I was smelling it too, and there was not a coffee maker in the house.
Now, my question is, did she tell you she smelled it first, like smelled it, dealt it, or did you smell it and bring it up to her?
I smelled it first, and then I brought it up to her because she wasn't home at the time. So I'm like, that's a little weird.
And that could easily, I also believe that a lot of spirits sometimes don't, it's not necessarily that they're haunting a place, but I feel that spirits sometimes check in on us from wherever they're located. And to let them know to sit there and say, hey, I'm thinking about you. Here's some hazelnut coffee because I know that is going to remind you of me. I know that's what's going to happen.
It's not a haunting.
I think it's a visitation.
There's a difference between
he definitely let me know he was there.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we do.
Justin, Tammy, and Ash, do you see when I brought up that situation? I did that for a reason, just to see what the possibility that you guys can experience in a debate. When you bring something up and your guest might not feel that what you're saying are actually factual. Now the question is, you saw what just happened. Are you guys able to? I mean, how would you, come to an agreement with your guest as far as as being the host of your own podcast? Are you guys able to distract from the topic, or would you guys be able to engage with that particular topic?
I would say definitely be able to engage because you don't necessarily have to agree.
Asking Ash, Justin, and Tammy.
Sorry.
We're podcasters. We like to talk.
Yeah. Definitely though, engage and ask and maybe change my mind.
Yeah, we all have different opinions. We all have different viewpoints. Let's talk about it. Let us talk about it.
And let's learn from each other.
Yeah, that's right.
And enjoy ourselves while we're doing it.
That's right.
Absolutely.
we're not here
See, but
to
you
make you
also
bored. It's we're here to.
oh,
It's entertaining to us as well, right? But we want to uh in in like bring this energy in so everyone else can hear what we're thinking about and see what we're talking about and probably interact that way and say, hey, I had that same feeling. Yeah, that happened to me too. And and
but you
find
also
some balance.
yeah, but you also notice that tempers didn't rise. Everybody remained calm. Everybody had
Hmm.
a and whether we agree or disagree on
Yeah.
what the topic was, everybody
Hmm.
saw everybody's view at that point.
Hmm.
And that's why I brought that situation up even though I disagree with Colin,
Ah.
and I might disagree
Oh,
with him, but we
I'm
still
not.
had that common ground. I mean, we still let him speak. He let me speak, and of course, Chumming, had said what they had to say, and everybody else had an opinion on the topic. But
Mm.
at the end of the day, it's all about letting your guests, be heard and let them feel what they feel, and
Even if
go from there. I can't wait to see you guys' first podcast. Hope you figuring all this in because you guys. And the main thing about a podcast is never let your guests see you sweat. So the minute that these guys are answering the question, your next question should already be right here. Keep the conversation going. Never pause. Never hesitate. Because if you pause and you hesitate, what's going to happen? Your guests are going to get bored. They're going to get bored because there's nothing being said. So the minute they through with their question, with the answer, you should be ready to go with another one. Always. And
Can I add something,
always
Terry?
think outside the box. Yes, sir.
Also, like with that, like you said, try to have a question. Okay. Um, it's cool because we got 3 people. So if somebody gets locked, somebody else is firing off. But don't think because we're a paranormal show, that's all you have to talk about. We
Yes.
joke around,
No.
we talk about other stuff. Let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Be you.
Your
Yeah.
guest is having a good
Yeah.
time now. And in a minute you go, well, okay, done with the good time. We have to okay, I'm gonna be turned off. I'm gonna be like, whatever. It's like you want
Yeah.
to have
Talk about
fun.
the sorry ass
Right, there
cowboy.
you go.
I don't want to go over. It's a fine line, but you don't have to just talk about spirits. Have a conversation with a human being.
Yeah.
Have discussions. You don't even have
Yep.
to interview. Just do this.
I was about to say, yeah. I was like,
Yeah,
because I
you
know
just did
for our podcast, like it's just me, Jess, and Bree, our moderator, and that's it. Like we look at each other, but we don't record it. We just record the audio because that's what we prefer right now. We have talked about an evolution. We might live stream later on, but it's like that's not what we're feeling right now. But we also in our podcast we put out there for the believers and the skeptics to say, hey, like if you have a personal story you want to tell us, email us, let us know. That gives you a chance to have a voice. And we love that. We love hearing from people who are following us because it's not only our journey, it is everyone's journey who chooses to ride along with us, and that's what we like to promote.
Can I ask a question for all of
Yeah.
you? What would you? Okay, I didn't talk about certain things that I went through because I don't want it to give it energy. But have you ever had a guest that came on that could not talk about certain places that they lived in or certain places that they can't talk about because it will feel the energy of whatever entity is there? Because I have that problem. And I can't go there. Terry knows. There's certain parts that I have told Terry, and there's certain parts I can't tell Terry because I only live 45 minutes where I used to live, and it came and it sat beside me and told me, "Don't you dare tell anybody what happened in that place and where you lived," and it threatened me. And ever since then, I couldn't, I could tell it to go blank off. Yeah, I did that too, but in the meantime, I know how dangerous it was because I know how many people who died because of that entity. And if you give that entity fuel, it will come after you no matter what you do, and you can't stop it. Is there any guest that you ever had that experience that they couldn't tell you?
Man, most of the time for us, it's they may not want to talk about some place because of just the trauma, but they don't want to relive it.
Mm-hmm.
The United States really isn't that old, so a lot of those places don't have that type of energy built up from thousands of years of something being there. Not saying that there isn't places that you get. So there's theories on tulpas. The more you talk about something, the more you can make it happen. Egregores. Yeah, there's a whole that's a whole podcast on itself. But by talking about it, you can feed that energy into a location.
Yeah.
It may actually explain why some locations are haunted now when they were hoaxed in the past. That's a huge rabbit hole to go down at some point.
Yeah, that's the same. That's the same as the Nephilim.
I don't like talking about what happened to me too, because it happened to me twice, and it happened to me every 6 months when I was living there, and we finally moved out. But it's just really hard for me to talk about, and I don't know if I can even to this day. It's been 5 years since we lived there, since we moved out, and it's just one of those places where it's better not known than known.
There are some people that believe they have abilities to help protect people from stuff like that. Depends on how religious you are or versus how you believe in just spirituality or faith. There are ways to kind of help protect you from things like that, but you have to go talk to people, unfortunately, because something like that is very hard to get taken care of on your own. You are going to need help from somebody. Help, if anything, just listen to what you got going on.
Yeah, I always feel that any experience that I have, I always feel that I'm always going to talk about it, just in the sense because because I've never had it happen to me. I don't necessarily know if I believe in some of those aspects. Like when we talk about something like demonic possession, I haven't witnessed it, nor have I had it happen to me. I've read about it, sure, but because I don't know what the other person who was either telling me about it or what I read, I can't justify anything because I have myself has not personally experienced it. So I've never had anything tell me not to say anything. Sure, I've had feelings. I've been scared in certain locations, but then I also add to the fact I'm sitting in a dark room. It is 4 o'clock in the morning, and I've had about 7 Red Bulls. My eyes are jittering right now. Is this all in my own head currently, or is it something physically talking to me? So I have to add those factors into it as well. And so because when I did the Cabin on 360, I heard disembodied voices for like the first time ever, and it was such a huge experience for me. But I had to sit there and go, wait a minute, is this in my own head? Is this something that is anyone else experiencing this with me? And luckily there were, so I knew it wasn't just me, but I felt okay to talk about it. And I feel that it's an experience. If you can't talk about it, then maybe write about it, or write it down. Cause that's another form of great therapy, is just writing something down. So that way it's out of your system, it's out of your body, and you can expunge it.
Yeah, I agree on that one. All right, guys, we're going on 3 hours.
Oh boy.
There would be an after-hour show that would not be streamed. If you guys care to join after we end with the stream, you're more than welcome to. If you guys got other adventures, I understand that too. But with that being said, closing arguments, guys. Closing arguments. And I'm going to start with Colin. Colin, what's your closing argument, man? Talk to me.
In terms of, I sit there and say, one, in all of this, trust your gut, trust your body as a tool, and learn your history and continue the progress of history, and make sure that people remember the things that have happened in the past. And go out there, are full of paranormal BS. We drop every first of the month a new episode, and we are out there on all major streaming sites, and everything on there is for all of the socials. We're Paranormal BS. So yeah, please let us know what you think, because we are always open to other people's critiques, because we are not perfect at all. So please listen, write an email, tell us what you love, what you didn't love. It's all love, in my opinion. So that's all it is, and that's what I'll take it.
Okay, well, tell the world how to get a hold of you.
How do you get a hold of me? Well, I don't know why that flabbergasted me. I was ready to give you my phone number. We're on all social media sites. Text me sometime, Terry. Yeah, we're out there on all social media under Full of Paranormal BS. That is really our handle on all forms. We have Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Patreon, and then once again, we're on Apple, Spotify, or any other streaming service that you use. Like, that's what we're on, and we have 2 episodes out right now. We have one that drops on the 1st of April.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm gonna start with you. Well, thank you for participating in this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Man, I'm hoping that we can get together and do this again.
Yes.
And see how things have progressed since the last time we talked. With that being said, I'm gonna go up to Big T. Big T, man. Any closing arguments, man? Tell the world how to get a hold of you and all that stuff, man. I'm listening.
All right. As everyone here knows, we're Paranormal Musing Podcast. We are on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. You can also email us at paranormalmusingpodcast@gmail.com for folks who want to come on the show or just shoot the shit, willing to talk. Or if you want us on a show or whatever, just put us up. Or I think I was able to follow everyone's page on Facebook, my personal and the show. I think we were already following 573, so our show was. But now I got BS, which is awesome, and hit us up. Tell your friends. Tell them we'd like to be friends.
Well, man.
And I'll end it like I end every show.
Man.
Happy hunting.
Hey,
we're already following them too.
I appreciate it.
Thanks.
I appreciate you coming on the show, Big T, man. Me and Big T got history. We've been on a couple of podcasts together. I mean, we've indulged in some deep conversations. And with that being said, I'm really trying to get him out to Texas to investigate with us, and come out here and show him a Central Texas good time. Show him how we really do it in Central Texas. So I'm hopefully that we'll be able to get him down there.
Yeah.
Salt and pepper barbecue. Man, we're going straight to the hood, man. I ain't doing no salt and pepper barbecue. We're going straight to the hood, because the hood is where the best barbecue is. We all know it. Hey, nah, man, you can forget 100%. Rudy's.
I thought it was in Memphis.
That's KC.
What?
Nah, hood barbecue.
I'm sorry. Look what I started. I'm sorry. I think I started this before. I'm sorry.
Memphis barbecue is amazing.
He's not sorry.
Yeah, you started.
Just mention barbecue. Go off.
Yeah. If you want that dried up barbecue, you stay in Memphis or Kentucky or Southern Alabama, wherever you ain't known for cooking good barbecue. But it damn sure, hey, good barbecues right here in Texas. I'm just letting you
Amen
know.
to that,
But
brother.
I dare to argue
hey,
with
I'm
you.
taking you. I'm taking you to the hole in the wall.
Oh,
If you guys ain't ever been to a hole in the wall barbecue, y'all know what y'all missing.
That's true.
That's where they
Okay.
stick the big toe in it. You know what I'm saying?
nah.
All right. What are you talking about? All right, Chummy, talk to me, brothers.
So we're chatting with the Spirits podcast. We're on Facebook. Our main channel is YouTube, but we're on Rumble, TikTok. We don't post as much on X and what was the
Reddit.
Reddit. We do have our own website, which is www.cwtspodcast.com. So our initials of our Chatting with the Spirits podcast.com. We have evidence page if you ever want to go check it out. Email us directly through there. There's a contact at cwtspodcast.com, or you can go directly Parachum or JD. We'll get an email that way. Facebook, find us. Business Suite on our Facebook page. If you message us through there, we're always willing to help out. Let us know. Of course, like and subscribe everybody that's on here. If you're watching this 10 years from now, somebody's probably going to be famous by that time. So
I thought I was famous already.
that's fair statement. Everybody's famous in their own way. So like I said, please reach out. If you got questions or want to collab, let us know. We're always pro podcast. So, like I said, Larry, you got anything else? No?
But you got it covered.
Cool. All right. Well, hey, man. You know what? I appreciate you guys coming on the show. I wasn't sure if I was going to get you guys, but I crossed my fingers and got you guys, and I pray that I got you guys. I pray to the gods that you guys that you guys will come on. So thank you. So
Take a
thank you,
lesson from Larry.
Anunnaki. I really appreciate you allowing this happening.
Yeah. No, I'm reach out. Don't ever look at your channel and go, wow. Reach out to people. The worst case, they're going to just say no or ignore you. Best case scenario, you're going to have a talk with some people. I mean, we're already following some of you on Facebook. So, that's the main thing I hear. Don't be shy. Just reach out. Like I said, worst thing, no, they're going to pass on it. And then we can really wish you famous, and we're doing okay.
They're right. Only thing they can say is yes or no.
Don't be afraid to
you know
get
what?
dirty and make mistakes, guys.
Hey, how many times do you hear? And how many times do you hear yes or no every day?
Yeah,
I hear it every day.
All the time.
Yes, no.
Me too, man. Me too.
That's the common
Usually
word.
no.
Usually no.
You know what I'm saying?
How
But
about
guys,
maybe?
yeah. All right. 573 Paranormal. Tell the world a little bit about you, and tell them out of the group who you're gonna have on your podcast first.
Ooh.
We are definitely on Facebook. We have a Facebook page. We do have the other pages, but they're just starting out. So we've got a lot of learning to do, and this has definitely helped to get us started. So we got some figuring out to do on our end, and we'll definitely be coming for you guys.
Yeah.
Let us know how we can help out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey,
Yep. Definitely reach out.
just let us know. We're here for you. One thing, real quick, guys. A lot of people, and I don't know if any of you guys stream on your investigations live.
Mhm.
A lot of people like to just stream on Facebook. But if you are a podcaster and if you're not streaming your investigations on your streaming network, something is wrong with y'all.
Yeah.
Where else can you stream at multiple platforms live on your investigation if you're not streaming on Restream, Restream or StreamYard? I don't see why you guys are not taking advantage of that.
Because that's free
cool.
labor. You have people watching your cameras for you to let you know. They'll comment when something happens.
Yeah.
You have it. You can go back into your live and go, oh,
exactly.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah, we attempted to do that the last investigation,
is
but
cool.
Mother Nature made sure that didn't happen. And
Some
But,
places
yeah.
the haunted location has other plans. We've done some stuff and went, oh, we better upload that episode from that location. File corrupted, battery drained.
Oh, yeah.
Facebook saved us that night.
Right. All right, Mr. Joe, tell the world how to get a hold of you.
Oh, you can get a hold of me on Newark Paranormal Society, or at newarkparanormalsociety@gmail.com. Colin, I am doing an article for the Cabin on 360. I did a podcast with Dennis not too long ago.
Love that.
Dennis. And I know they're trying to save the location right now. So I plan on putting out an article for him here relatively soon. And of course, that's going to be, I've never been there, but, but if it's to help save a location, why not, man? I have no issues with that whatsoever. And I would love to be on all you guys' podcasts. I really would. I think you guys are a great group of people. I mean, you guys are awesome, man. I mean, like I said, I've had many years of experience in the paranormal field. Like I said, and this is about fun. That's what it's about, and and you never fake your evidence, never whatever. It's about fun. It's not. Don't let it be where you're fighting with some other team. It's stupid, and But I would love to talk to all of you. And this is who I write for. I write for Strange Knox magazine, and I did a article on the Thornburg House in West Virginia not too long ago. So look them up too, because here pretty soon I'm going to be. I put the last article I put out was for the Gill House in Galion, Ohio. So I'd love to talk to all of you. So get a hold of me.
Joe, I was about to say, Joe, hit me up. If you were looking for, because you're doing Cabin on 360 stuff, I have some really, really, really cool evidence on my computer. If you ever need to, if you need something, just to even write about or whatever it is, hit me up.
I would love as much information as I could get to put in this story.
Sweet, I gotcha.
So I think it'd be amazing. But you guys are all amazing people.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking.
Thanks, Joe. So are you,
Who
bud?
says paranormal? Who says that Paraunity is not alive?
No, it's absolutely it's
This is Paraunity right here. This is Paraunity right here.
We're all across the world, man. We all from different sides of the country and the world. And look, if I was here, I'd give each one of y'all a big fat kiss on the cheek.
I'll just take a trophy. I don't want to kiss.
I'm still looking at my COVID rules, 6 feet apart, buddy.
I'll take you out for lunch, okay? I'll take you out for lunch to have some Korean barbecue with Japanese Wagyu A1 steak. Yeah, I'll take you out for that instead.
You're making me hungry, Irene.
You want to come? Well, come on in. And I'll take you for dinner.
I'll see you in 14 hours.
Irene. Hey, Irene's buying too. I can't pass that up. Shit.
No, you can't.
That sounds really good. All right, guys. Hey, it has been a pleasure talking with all of you, man. I've learned so much about each one of you guys' podcasts, man. And hopefully I'll get the opportunity to be on your show and like everybody else. And I hope it's, crisscross to everybody else. Big T, you still owe me one.
Oh, yeah.
You owe me 5.
I would love to. Oh, snap. How do I owe you 5?
Because you know how many times I healed
We'll talk
you?
about that in a minute.
I healed him so many times. He healed me a lot.
That's what, hey, hold up. That's what friends do. we heal each other.
You get my healing to me,
and emotionally, all that stuff. Hey, I'm healing myself right now. Look at this. I'm good to go.
Oh boy.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be there soon, Terry. I'll be there soon.
Well, I hope so. Hey, we got room for you. We got room for you. All right, guys. Hey, this is Terry with Nspstv Paranormal Podcast Showdown. It wasn't really a showdown except for me and Collins, but hey, I have fun debating with them. I think we can debate more. I think the opportunity is there for for us to have a civil debate and all that stuff. But guys, the show will continue off stream. So whatever we talk about is off stream is between us. So if you guys are up to it, continue the conversation. We're here for you. If not, I totally understand. So I will see you guys in a bit. Again, I'd like to thank everybody for coming on the show and sharing all their thoughts.
Have a good evening.
Appreciate the invite, Terry.
Hope to hear from you really soon.
Yeah, thanks,
guys.
Yeah.
Yes, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate the love. I feel like crying right now. I am feeling it. Anyway,
well, Terry, how
all
about
right,
if I break open my Japanese moonshine? We'll all have a drink.
I'm down with that. I can drink moonshine and Bush beer. I don't know how that would. It would taste pretty good going down, but it'll probably taste horrible coming back up. I mean, I don't know how that's going to taste. But anyway, guys, hey,
I'm fucking starving.
Well, yeah, and I need to get to sleep.
Yeah, the rest of the
you
show
guys
will
are hungry?
continue
I can feed you.
So, guys,
Thank you, guys.
I appreciate you guys.
So I noticed you did plus loud when I was
Yeah, it was nice meeting all of you guys, man.
I didn't think about that.
Guys.
Well, we didn't have the mics on.
Yeah.
Remix the beat.